Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Creation Myths. As always, when we're live, I am just taking a second to make sure everything is coming through on the YouTube window I have open. And once which I do, we can get on with the show. So, folks, thank you all for being here tonight. I am so excited for this show. So, this is kind of part two in my 10,000 subscriber celebration because I still can't believe that happened. So thank you all for being here, for watching, and thank you to my wonderful panel for volunteering for what I'm about to put you all through. You have no idea what you're in for. So what we're going to do here tonight, folks, is some creationist trivia. Before we get to the actual trivia, I just want to go around the horn and let everybody introduce themselves. So actually, before we do that, we got a super chat. Hang on one second. Let me do this first. From Gupdo3 for $2, trans rights. Hell yeah.
Our human rights.
Absolutely.
Trans rights are human rights. And if you disagree, the door is over there. And if you say it out loud, which is to say in the chat, you will be shown the door. So,
by the way, if anyone's interested, Gupdo3 and I have an interview on my channel about Gupdo3 leaving Young Earth creationism. So I think it might be called With Steve because we go back and forth between the screen name Gupdo3 and the name Steve. So check it out.
That is an excellent series. So before we get to the introductions, because this is a show I've been wanting to do for a while as just like hanging out, have fun show, and the occasion is I hit 10,000 subscribers last month. And before we go any further, I just want to take a moment to thank Jackson and Dapper and Erica, because all three of them over the years have had me on their channel going back to the earliest days of mine and collaborated with me and like hyped my stuff. And I would not have hit 10,000 subscribers without them helping me out. So thank you, the three of you. I really appreciate all of your stuff over the years. Just thank you.
Well, thank
you. And I'll never do it again. It was always horrible.
I frequently reference the video that you were in, the one we did on evolutionary history. That was a fun one.
Actually, Dan, one of our collaborations is one of my better performing videos, which didn't happen until fairly recently. It's that fly paper that we did.
Oh, that's so weird. That's weird.
Yeah. When it first came out, it did okay, but then apparently every once in a while it goes around in like Muslim or ex-Muslim circles.
Yeah, it goes around,
and then suddenly it just picks back up again and gains a few thousand views.
That's so cool.
It's nice knowing that. I think this is going to be, you can hear my dog barking in the background. This is going to be supported by the trivia show tonight. I know it will be, but it's nice that our content is so evergreen because what we make now always works.
Always.
Till the end of time, till the heat death of the universe, because these people cannot come up with new arguments. Even the ones that seem new are older than you think, right? Like intelligent design is Cicero and Paley's argument. Like it's never, it's there's nothing new under the sun. But I wanted to say was my contribution to Dan's subscriber count is mostly just stealing clips from his channel and being like, also subscribe to Dan. So, we got a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, it's great. And also I will say for people who don't know this, we all are actual friends. We don't just like do YouTube stuff. We're like actual friends, and it's really just freaking delightful that we're all friends. It's really just great.
Yeah, so this is the group that largely got me through 2020 with a few additions who aren't here.
It's true.
I feel like people don't know this either, but we hang outside of this, right? Like we have our little science friends group chat, and it's not business only. We work hard, we play hard.
I have some very good memories of 2021 because of this group.
I'd say like I have like 2 or 3 friends like I served in the army with. I have some close friends. Outside of that, this is probably my closest circle of friends, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were at my wedding, yeah.
I have been to 2 people's weddings.
My wedding too. Yeah, my wedding and Jackson's wedding.
Jackson, you caused me psychic damage there because I wasn't able to make it to.
All right, folks, we have so many, and I swear to you, we are going to do all of them because we have to get to the last one. You're going to lose your mind. So let me just say we got another super chat. Meat Permits Tad for $5. Thank you, Meat Permits Tad. Marge Simpson voice. I just hope everyone has a good time.
Hold on, Dan, Can I do this? Yeah. I've got a Marge I've been working on. I just hope everyone has a good time.
That was good.
Oh
Pretty
my
good.
God.
Yeah, nice.
Oh,
Everyone-
great.
That was fantastic. That was great.
Wait, can you do? I just think they're neat.
I just think they're neat.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Great. All right, folks. TD Lane, introduce yourself. We're gonna go We're gonna go clockwise, and then we'll get started. So you all know me. I'm Creation Myths. TD Lane, who are you?
Hold on, I can do an impression too. TD Lane, I am. Silly, I am. Jackson, your turn it is.
Hello. Not a whole lot has changed since the last time I gave my intro on this channel, except I guess I put out the Sponge's Tale. So we have finished the Animals in the Ancestors Tale 52
Yay!
videos later,
Woo!
and
Animals.
like 4 years.
Wait, no Tenepor's tail?
Actually, well, the Tenephores and the Sponges have a tail. They get tailed together. So
Aw, that's
fair.
cheating.
That's fair.
you get to
That's
meet
fair.
Venus's
That's
girdle
fine.
at the same time that you get to meet, Asconoid sponges. So
Okay, I guess.
I do zoology online and in the real world, professor, aquarium, etc. So good times.
Jordan.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I run a channel mostly about skepticism and bow ties called Reason to Doubt.
It's not great.
That is all my channel is about. Don't let anybody lie to you and tell you differently. So nowadays, if you stick around to the end of my videos, you'll get cool nuclear engineering facts because I realize I got all this stuff in my head. I should just spew it out on YouTube. So there you go. That's what you'll get if you come around.
It's literally why YouTube exists. You've got stuff in your head, spew it out.
Whoa.
Dapper Dinosaur.
Hey, I'm Dapper Dinosaur. Chances are you probably know who I am if
Probably,
you're
yeah.
here. But if you don't, I run a channel that's primarily about young Earth creationism, although I do touch on some other stuff. In fact, this Saturday I'm going to be talking about nonsense about ancient aliens and Sumerian mythology. So,
Nice.
yeah, we're going to be covering some Billy Carson nonsense. That'll be fun. And I also have an off-topic channel where I do a lot of stuff, including running a TTRPG actual play that has Jordan in it as our XO of the Starfleet ship USS Kongzi NCC 83005, unless I'm wrong about that, which I very well might be. So, yeah.
Did you just say the USS Kanzi?
See,
Like the
no.
bonobo?
That would have been good, but it's Kongzi.
No,
It is, in fact, a
Not as
transliteration
good.
of the Chinese word for Confucius.
Me when my interest immediately wanes because it doesn't
Well,
have something to do with.
I can show you how to run the game, and you can start your own game with the USS Kongzi.
No monkey, no Erica.
You
just
know,
how
No,
it is.
Great.
there's no
No
monkey.
monkey.
I'm not involved.
You could
Well-
play a monkey. You could play several monkeys.
Erica.
I do
yeah.
get that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm Erica. I'm Guts Gibbon. I do the same thing that a lot of these guys do, which is dunk on creationism on the internet. My sort of healthy add-on to that, because we're all like dual type Pokemon, where like we main type debunking creationism or fundamentalism here online, and then we all have our secondary typing. So my secondary typing is biological anthropology. I talk about human evolution, the latest discoveries in human evolution, specifically in biological anthropology, which has its fingers and a lot of pies. So I get to talk about a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, man, that's pretty much it. That's all I do. Oh, and I'm a PhD candidate. That's actually, I do biology in real life too, but not the kind of biology that Jackson does. The kind of biology that I do, it's a different kind.
It actually won't be long until you're Dr. Guts Gibbon.
Oh, I'm gonna.
It won't be long.
I'm gonna milk it so much. No, people don't even know how much I'm gonna. I'm actually gonna be like, no, you don't have to. Don't worry about it.
And
It's fine.
I can see the merchandising potential.
Oh,
T-shirts,
yep.
coffee mugs.
All right, folks. So,
Flamethrowers.
folks, we are here. So we're here for two purposes tonight. My purpose tonight is to herd cats. That is my job tonight. And our other purpose tonight is to find out among our panel of expert creation debunkers just how bad are professional creationists and how well do you know them. So we're going to take a minute, go through the rules, and then we are going to get right into the quotes that our panel is going to have to identify. Now, before we do that, I do have a couple of super chats to read out. So thank you first to Kent the Bacteria Kind. Hal said that's amazing. That's amazing. For $4.99, Creation Myths is made possible with donations from viewers like you. In the NPR voice is how you should read that. Thank you, Kent the Bacteria Kind Halstead. And from Sapphire, Science NIMBY's Light for $2. Hail the science friends. Absolutely. Thank you for your donation. And also, I just want to take a minute to appreciate that, Dapper. I'm now getting in on the inside joke username game with Science NIMBYs. Actually,
Yes.
I get to take credit for that one. So I really like that one. Oh, we got one more just while we were talking from Chip for $1.99. Can't wait to congratulate Dr. Gibbon. That is, Erica, that is going to be a fantastic stream.
It's going to be it. Oh, I'm going to get so drunk. Like
you have to do your presentation. You have to do it for us.
Absolutely.
Oh, I could do that. Oh, that's going to be perfect because I can put everybody to sleep before I get rowdy. I know everybody out there is so excited to know how basal canine cross-section at the cementum enamel junction parses species and lends itself to understanding sexual dimorphism in the early Miocene catarrhines of Eastern Africa. Let's go!
Yeah.
Let's go!
Look,
I'm literally at the edge of my chair.
Half of mine
I understood that makes me excited.
It sounds cool. Half of mine was on codon usage bias in single-stranded DNA viruses. So, like, you know, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all
So,
good.
in all seriousness, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. I promise, Dan, I'll stop derailing the conversation.
And then we're going to get to the rules.
I'm almost to the end of my sort of pilot study period because I've got like about 200 extant primate canines that I'm trying to make sure this method works on before I apply it to my like 350 plus fossil canine sample comparative method for the win. We all know it. We all love it. And my results are really good. I'm way more excited than I was in the past because it's like, holy shit, this actually might work, which means we might be able to identify isolated fossil teeth more easily than we have in the past and assign them to species and thus understand behavior a little bit more easily. So hopefully there's application. It should be cool.
That's really
okay,
good.
folks, here are the rules. Here's what we're going to do. There are 2 pages of rules. Don't get excited. There are 2 pages here. So first, panelists will be presented with a quote from a professional creationist, one at a time, and we're going to go down the column. So we're going to start with TD Lane, and then we're going to go to Jackson, and Jordan is going to go in order. You're going to get a quote on screen, and you must correctly identify the source within a reasonable yet undefined time limit. I will determine the time limit, and I will tell you when things that are at my discretion, I will be arbitrary and capricious in how I figure this stuff out as we go. Okay, so there will be, don't take too long. After correct answers, we may laugh at, complain about, whatever, the quote or source without a time limit, again, at my discretion. We can make fun of whatever it is. But I am going to keep things moving because we have 3 rounds to get through. So the quotes are grouped by difficulty with harder quotes worth more points. We'll start easy, 1 point. There are 5 quotes, 1 point each. Then there's the medium round, which actually is 2 rounds, so they're 2 points each, and we'll go through twice. And then there's the hard round, 5 extremely difficult ones that are worth 4 points each. And I will be keeping score as we go.
Dan, can I ask a clarifying question? Like, just to sort of put us in a frame of mind here.
Uh-huh.
Are we going from it can be any creationist from the dawn of time to now?
It is mostly active creationists, but not exclusively.
Some of them are dead, right?
There's at least 1.
Okay.
I don't want to say I will say they are almost entirely active, but not entirely.
Are any of them murderers?
Gunter Beckley does not make an appearance.
Does our boy McQueen make a appearance?
I almost had Tubes, but I didn't include Tubes because honestly, we all like McQueen here, and I don't want to make fun of McQueen.
Yeah.
I don't want to make fun of McQueen. I like McQueen.
I know.
I like
McQueen's nice. Okay.
He's a nice guy.
Third rule. Now, folks, pay attention to this third rule because this is the fun one. I promise you, pay attention to this rule. Stealing is permitted via 2 mechanisms. The first mechanism is that if someone gives a wrong answer, we go to the next person in line. So if Jackson gives a wrong answer, Jordan gets an opportunity to answer that question. And we'll go through everybody. If we do a complete circuit, then nobody gets points for that quote. The other mechanism is the fun one. You may shout steal at any point. And if you shout steal, I will acknowledge your steal. But if you attempt to steal and are wrong, you lose the points equal to the value of the quote you have attempted to steal. And if the person you stole from gets it wrong and we start going through everybody, you don't get to try again. So steal at your own risk.
Okay, so to be clear, each of us are getting an individual question, and if we get it wrong, it goes to the group.
It goes down the line, yeah.
Okay, I feel even worse about my chances now.
But at any point, you may steal somebody else's question.
I'm going to end up with negative points.
Do you have like a bell or like a whistle to use to like corral us? Because otherwise there's just going to be a lot of you being like, guys, please.
You know what? Let me,
Do you have a Bobiverse like air horn?
Do you have a mute the panel button?
Hang on.
He needs a mute the panel button. That's what he needs.
I need a mute the panel button is what I, you know what? Hang on. Give me a second. I'm going to like pull up an air horn thing here. Hang on. I'm being completely serious. Let's just do this real fast here. Here we go. Let's see if this one works.
He's doing a quiet coyote, the thing that they do to get kids to shut up. Or he's
right. Right. It's like 1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
Eyes on me.
We continue when the class is quiet. Yeah.
All right, here you go, folks.
I can wait.
Ready? Okay.
Okay.
Did everybody hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, so that's what, if I need to corral the room, that's what we're going to do. 17 minutes into this, we're going to get started. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Now, everybody unmute because you might want to steal, okay? And this first one, I promise you, you will know the answer. The first one is so freaking easy, okay? So, actually, we do have a couple super chats. Sorry, that was anticlimactic. Hang on. Hang on. We got from Chip, I'm a dentist, Erica. I'm super excited about it. There you go. And that was for $1.99. Thank you, Chip. I appreciate your generosity. And then we've got Tim, I'll say Childry. Shout out to any former creationist kids who get eye twitches anytime someone says 4,500 for $5. Thank you, Tim. That sounds painful. Yeah. And then my unfinished journey for $6.66. Hail Nero, hail Dr. Dan and panel, and hail regulated theft. There you go.
Yes.
Okay, folks. Part 1, easy. You have probably heard these before. Is everybody ready? We're ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here it goes. Oh, this is one more thing, just as a convention. Jeopardy rules apply. Don't say anything until I finish reading the quote. Good?
Wait, who are we starting with? Who is this for?
This is for TD Lane.
Okay,
but anybody can steal, and I'm telling you, you're going to want to be unmuted for this one. The round 1 is really easy. All right, ready?
Fun fact, I am terrible with names.
Wait, Dan. Does TD have a way to be like, before all of us are like trying to say steal, does TD have a means to like claim it to then say it, or does he need to know off the dome faster than any of us can say steal?
No, he you know, damn it, I only came up with these rules yesterday, okay, folks?
Should we give him should we give him like 10 seconds?
Yeah,
to, like,
10 seconds.
answer?
Yeah, we'll do a 10-second grace period.
Right,
Okay, fine. 10-second grace period. Once I finish the question, then we can steal. Good?
Okay. All right.
There we go. I appreciate everyone's contribution to the rules for this game. All right, ready? Here we go. Quote number 1. There could have been some wonky things pre-flood that I discuss in the literature.
This is Nathaniel Jeanson, isn't it?
This is Nathaniel Jeanson. 1 point for TD Lane.
Yep.
He got the one I'm gonna know. This is
all right. There we go. We got 1 point for TD Lane.
Rigged.
Dr. Nathaniel Jeanson from Answers in Genesis.
From Harvard.
Right.
Yes.
Harvard.
We can't forget
at the
that.
Harvard University.
Can we just
See, Dan, the thing is, if you had just read his books, then you would understand what kind of wonky things he's talking about. But you didn't, obviously.
The context for this, folks, was that amazing night when me and I think that was when Jordan and Erica all were in the live stream at various times. And I got to talk to Jeanson and I asked him to explain the 3-node thing. And his explanation was wonky things pre-flood. That was his actual answer to my question.
Was that also the wow? The people in the chat seem to know each other.
It was. I think it was that one.
Carter. That was Carter.
Oh, that was a different thing. Okay.
It was really good though.
Amazing.
Dan, this was the context for this though was specifically too. You were talking about the unrooted tree, and then you were also talking about is he using the mutation rate as the substitution rate?
That was the other headline that came out.
Yes,
yeah,
that's what I'm doing. And then you were like, "Thank you," and that's been the rubber stamp for that entire argument now and in memoriam.
Right.
And Johnny must have hated that moment so much. He spent so much effort saying, "That's not what he's doing.
That's not what he's doing. That's not what he's doing." He just tweeted it out, as the joke goes, right? It was, yeah.
This quote it's one of those things that just sticks with you, and it's like the creationist version of an anime asshole.
All right, we got to keep going.
All right.
All right, we got to keep going. All right, this is for Jackson, number 2. Ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Johansson said, look, Lucy's pelvis is round and curved and goes forward like a human pelvis. Now, we all know that he altered the pelvis and cut it up with a saw and changed it from an 8 pelvis, which would mean that he didn't walk upright. He changed it from the sideways 8 pelvis to a human round pelvis, and he did that with a buzzsaw.
Oh, who is Casey Luskin?
That is incorrect.
Oh.
Jordan. If anyone would like to steal, you can do it.
Okay, I'm gonna go Steele, and I'm gonna go Jeffrey Tompkins.
No.
Erica starting off strong with negative points.
It's the other one. It's the other Lucy was a fraud guy.
That's all of them, though.
No, we're gonna see a different version of Lucy is bad.
Wait, who is Jerry Bergman?
You already guessed for this one.
Who is Jerry Bergman?
It's not Jerry Bergman.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, has that negative point feel now, Jordan?
Very specifically, also an arbitrary rule that I have is I will provide hints as we go. This person wrote a book on all of the frauds, and this is one of them.
Oh, is this? Oh, I can't do it. Never mind.
Oh, who is Christopher Root?
Stop it. You already answered this.
That's, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So it's Dapper.
Yeah, I'll say Steele and Root.
What was it, Dapper? You want to go with?
Roop. I'm going to go with
not Roop.
Damn it.
Leading everybody down.
All right. Did everyone go? Did everyone try?
No, I don't think Jordan has.
TD. No, I gave Erica's wrong answer, and then you gave Erica's other
It's
wrong
up to
answer.
TD.
It's up. Yep, it's up to TD. You're the guy.
Oh man.
You can't look. You already have a point. You can't lose it because you're not stealing.
TD, say Lubenow. Say Martin Lubenow.
Nope. Don't say it. That's not who it is.
No.
It's better. Also, I have to vaguely recognize all of these people. Okay.
Oh, okay. TD
Is
says
it
on Stanford.
Stanford. Yeah.
This person was Sanford's a good guess. It's not Sanford. This
Dang.
Dr. Carl Warner.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that one.
Books.
It's CMI, of course.
I forget that man
Warner.
exists
Come on, folks.
routinely.
I also
Right,
did.
right.
Yeah.
Every time he's brought up, I'm like, oh yeah, Carl Werner exists. Wait, wasn't he the dentist who went around claiming that European museums had sent assassins after him after he pointed out that their hominid skulls were allegedly mounted incorrectly?
No, but that's amazing.
Isn't that the same guy?
Leon Trotsky.
He's the maybe, but he definitely claims that like every museum is engaged in like sustained fraud.
Yeah, that is
like,
him.
All hominid fossils.
He has a
are
book on like
fraudulent.
99 fraudulent fossils or whatever.
I,
Yeah.
so-
I have been on and off.
How did I
working
not
through that
know this
book.
man was real?
I've
about
been
it,
on and
America?
off working through his first book. I've been so you guys know I like to do things a little bit. I like to put in the maximum amount of effort for something that most people could just be like, "This is the truth," and then everybody's like, "Yeah, obviously." But then I want to be like, "Here's 1,000 reasons why it's the truth." So I've been emailing every person that he interviewed in that first book, and I've been working my way through it. I'm doing it on and off, so I've only gotten through like 15 people, and so far all 15 have spoken disparagingly about Werner's process, about his deceptive nature of interviewing, and about his inability to understand even basic evolutionary concepts.
Well, that tracks.
We're here in a couple of years when I finish.
I apologize for that being a hard one. I figured we all would have gotten that one because he was actually recently on SFT, I think, within the last few months. So that was, he's been making the rounds.
See, that's a channel I tend not to watch.
All right,
so.
Jordan, my friend, Jordan Stern.
Okay.
Jordan, you ready?
Here we go.
Sorry.
No, but go ahead.
I asked myself the question, what is the presently acting cause of digital code? What's the known cause of information generally? And what we know from uniform and repeated experience, which is the basis of all scientific reasoning, is about the past, is that information always comes from an intelligent source. And I know Jackson will get this one.
Is this Sanford?
This is not Sanford.
Steele.
Jackson, hit it.
Who is Stephen Meyer?
You got the answer. That is Stephen.
I feel like I should also get 10 seconds because that was going to be my guess.
That was Stephen Meyer from
when it was the uniform and repeated experience. He just says that, and literally that's like his mantra. Every interview he does, he says that line. Because he's been saying it since Signature in the Cell.
Didn't he even say it on Rogan?
Yes, literally every interview he does, he repeats that line. It's his mantra.
Yeah. That one was legitimately easy. Sorry for Warner, I guess, but that one was legitimately easy. I promise.
Yeah, the problem with the Warner question is that you use the Lucy quote, and like 10 creationists have said that exact thing.
I got another Lucy quote that's completely different. That's also easy because it's wrong in a completely different way. It's in round one. Erica, it actually might be yours. It might be the last one in round one.
I hope it's mine.
It might be yours. We'll see. Okay. We're up to Dapper. Dapper, is your turn. Are you ready, sir?
No, but let's go for it.
Let's do it. Here we go. This is great for Dapper. Natural selection includes the capability for creatures to generate various heritable traits with varying degrees of impact on their survival. The key question to evolutionists is, what originally initiated this ability to generate traits? They claim natural selection produced it by working on nature's emergent properties, spontaneously created complexity. This explanation is very weak. It is circular and invokes mystical environmental properties.
Oh, this is got to be an ICR, guys. I'm going to go with Randy Galuza, the man himself.
Nailed it, Randy Galuza.
Yeah.
There you
anytime
go.
you start hearing someone say mystical, it's a dead giveaway that it's likely going to be Randy Galuza. He loves that word.
Natural selection is straight to ICR, and there you go.
I want to give my opinion here on this. ICR is bottom of the barrel creationism these days. Like, to me, it's like they're not in the big three anymore. I mean, the CET stuff is so absurd that it's got to be embarrassing to be an ICR guy at these conferences.
But again, can we just emphasize though, there is Dr. Randy Galuza and a whole bunch of other PhDs. Tompkins is at ICR, right? That all buy into this nonsense. This is like absolute trash. Natural selection is fake, and yet this whole organization buys into it.
To be fair, he did lose some PhDs when he made that pivot. So
it
wasn't all of them that were like, oh yeah, I guess I'm okay with this. Some of them were like, no, this is a bridge too far. And hey, props to them, because like that can't be easy.
I just want to appreciate, before we move on, I just want to appreciate that, and by the way, chat, play along with us. I just want to appreciate that people are getting these.
Good.
It's great.
It's one of those things when I hear that quote, and it's just like, okay, bro, whatever.
Right. Now, this next one, I promise you, I didn't work it out this way. The order that is here is just the order people joined, and the order of my questions, just the order I tended to put them in. So I promise you, everybody, there was no collusion in giving this particular quote to Erica to end round one. But Erica, if you get this wrong, I am going to be heartbroken. So
I might get it. My confidence is shattered right now.
No, you're going to get this right. No, trust me on this. You're going to get this one right. You ready? You ready? Here we go.
Yeah, let's see it.
Oh, it would be better if I was on the right thing when I clicked. Okay, here we go. William Junger from Stony Brook, he says, sorry, I transcribed that poorly.
Who is Chris Roop?
Yep. Chris Roop, there you go.
I know it's Chris Roop. He's the only one.
Let me finish the quote. Okay. He says he tried fitting a hobbit hip bone, by which he means Homo floresiensis, a pygmy human, problems with that right off the bat anyway, right? Mm-hmm. To a cast of Lucy's sacrum. To his surprise, they were a perfect fit. You couldn't do that if Lucy's sacrum was an ape sacrum. It's only astounding if you think Lucy is a different genus, Australopithecus, and this one is Homo. But it makes perfect sense if they're both small-bodied humans. I believe Lucy was a pygmy.
I hate everything about that.
That is
So-
a fascinating.
That is
quote.
Dr. Chris Roop, folks.
This
is the argument?
This is the newest argument, right?
This
Like,
is
Oh.
This argument is so bad, it is too bad for the brain trust.
I'm giving flashbacks to when Erica debated Bergman, and he said like that. Whoa, we see these modern humans with skulls like early Homo erectus and Australopithecus, and it's just like, are you sure you want to say that? Are you
That's-
absolutely sure? Because this sounds a lot like what they were saying in like the middle of the 19th century about people from Africa and comparing them to apes. And not in
Bergman
a-
was there for the middle of the 19th century. Just kidding.
I mean,
just
it's
like take 5 seconds to think about what you're saying here and think about like what's the subtext of this that even can be accidental, because you should.
They don't care about that. That is literally like they care even less about that than they do about being right. Right? Like they don't care about any of the racial implications of the language that they're using. None of that matters to them at all. But I mean, what was really funny is that you mentioned the Bergman debate, TV, because it was in that debate that we got to watch Donnie kind of like put that idea to the test to Jerry Bergman, and Jerry Bergman was like, "That is a dumb idea." Like even
Incredible.
all right, folks. So that was, we got through one round. We got through our 5 easy questions here. So wait a minute. Bonus quote. First one to shout the answer gets it. Are we ready?
This is
Sure.
chaos.
Are we ready? Now, I am going to read it out loud. But if someone just shouts it when you see like a key word or something, like if this had pygmy in it and you were to shout Roop, like that's kosher. So I'm going to put it up and I'm going to read it. First person I hear who shouts it. And if we have to go to review, I'll ask chat who shouted it first, and we'll go to a booth review if we have to. But first person to shout out gets a bonus 1 point. There's no deduction. You just shout it out. Ready?
Okay, go.
Okay, here we go. Genome-wide, only 70%.
Tompkins.
Wait, I think we need a review. We need a ref on that one.
I see the word 70% in other contexts and I get triggered. When I see 70% in math textbooks, I'm like, hold up. What's going on?
I would like to put in an answer.
Okay, so that was, like I said, that was the easy bonus one. If you're familiar with, even I knew that one. Like I would have gotten that one fairly quickly. So
Can I say something really quick? This is so fast. I know this is annoying, but like, so you guys probably know this, but there's another. They're having this debate again. The nature of the human-chimp similarity. Casey Luskin is just, in my opinion, openly lying about it. It's fine.
Yes, he is.
But what's really funny is that the new number that they're proposing is 85%. On the basis of this new Nature paper. It's based on alignments. I've literally covered this in every video. They don't care. They don't watch my videos. It's fine. Or they do, but they ignore them. And then Jeffrey Tompkins comes out and he gets the new number wrong. He got the new number wrong too. He's like, now they're saying it's 75%. Bro didn't even read the Evolution News article. It's so funny.
Amazing.
All right.
Art.
All right, so folks, at the end of round 1, here is where the score stands. TD Lane, 1. Jackson, 1. Jordan, 0. Dapper, 1. Erica, 2. But Dapper and Erica both have a deduction for a failed steal. So I'm keeping track. So I've got by round, and then I've got deductions. So I'm keeping track here. Now, before we get to round 2, I just want to go through some super chats that we got, and then we'll get right into round 2 here, which is medium difficulty. So let's see. We got here we go. from Vandalia 1998 for $4.99. Remember, you have to put $1 in the swear jar every time you use the K word, kinds. That's fair.
I'm sorry. No,
That's fair.
not doing that.
That's totally fair. All right, then we've got $4.99 from Kent, the bacteria kind halls. That will always be funny. Fun creationist fact: Bob Jones University, BJU, desegregated the same year that Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link came out. I don't know what year that is, but that tracks.
That's very yikes.
That's
that would have been the late 80s or early 90s.
it was
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
be the
that's
80s, I would
yikes.
think. But yeah, that's bad.
Their
That's
anti-miscegenation dating rule was rescinded much later than that.
I think that was in the
Oh.
21st century.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
It was
Like,
bad. Yeah,
bro.
yeah, it's bad.
Cringe.
All right, and then just a test 90 for $5. Yeah, I'd love to go to the library with this group. Does every university have a bar just off campus called the library? First round on me, Dr. Gibbon. I don't know if that's the case, but that sounds awesome. Do they have books? Can you sit and read?
We have a
sounds
restaurant
great.
called the Library it's pretty upscale. It's very good here in Shreveport.
There you go. And for my unfinished kerning sock for $2, that's amazing. Don't invoke mystical properties. Like and share. Thank you, my unfinished kerning sock. Okay, folks, let us go to round 2, medium. How much time do you actually spend on this? And the answer for all of us here is
Too much.
probably, yeah, it's that
If
noise.
it's greater than 0.
If you spend more than a minute a month, then yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're gonna do for this for each round of 5, we're gonna shift our starting point downwards. So Jackson, you're gonna start this round.
Oh
Okay.
dear.
First question is to you, and then we'll give you the 10
So
seconds, and then we can steal as we desire. So here you go. They found a very small fraction actually encodes proteins. That was the one aspect of the genome we understood well, is that they encode proteins, so they assumed all the rest was junk.
Unclear.
That sounds like 8 of them.
That's
Yeah.
one. That's the point of the game. The arguments are terrible, and they all make them. Yeah.
All right, somebody steal.
I'm not stealing this time. I learned my lesson. I got
Jackson, throw us a
Pavlov
name.
in
There's
life.
no cost. Just throw a name.
All right. Okay. All right. I don't know. The most recent person who I think I watched this was your stuff on Casey Luskin. So that's my guess again.
It is not Casey Luskin, but you're close. You're in the right ballpark.
All right.
So it's my turn to answer.
It is Jordan's turn.
Sanford.
No, but
It'll be right eventually.
eventually you just keep doing sand. It's like
All right.
Well, see, I did
multiple
Casey
choice
Luskin
factor.
twice, so that's
I'm
fair.
gonna go Meyer on this one.
Dapper, this is not Meyer. I did try to mix
Damn it.
people up. We already did Meyer. I'm trying to keep it.
Okay,
I think there can be repeats. To be clear, there are repeats.
Okay.
is it Michael Behe?
No, but God, you're all dancing around it. You're in the right ballpark. You're gonna know it as soon as I show the name. You're gonna be like, that guy.
Was it? No, that's right. You can't
It's
re-answer.
TD.
T Lane, go for it. T Lane, go for it.
It's a fun one because everyone says this. Everyone says this.
Everyone says this.
Let's go with the classic. Is it Jensen?
That's a great guess. It's not Jensen. And I'm going to change my rule. We're going to keep going until we get it. Keep naming
Okay,
hacks.
okay.
Dembski.
Keep naming Discovery Institute hacks.
Was it
Just
Dembski?
keep going. Jackson, back to you. Keep naming hacks.
William Dembski.
No.
God.
Come on. He's the
Jonathan
anti-vax
Wells.
Discovery Institute hack.
Was it Jonathan Wells?
No. It was the COVID truther hack.
Oh, I don't even know that one.
Jackson, no.
Can we-
Jordan.
Can we go in any order? No. Okay. So
Dapper. Erica, go. Just go. This
is
isn't a
it
steal.
Douglas Axe?
It was Douglas Axe. Go.
Oh,
my
man.
goodness, it's like
Oh,
the
man.
coolest name.
It was. They're all the same, and they all make the same terrible.
I think
arguments.
I've read like
Yeah.
one thing by Douglas
also-
Axe, and it's the one protein paper we all know.
Yeah,
right,
that's
it's that
the
one,
only thing that's
I-
the thing I most associate with him. It's his
I-
claim like, it will be astronomically unlikely to evolve any one specific protein, which is like, yeah,
No.
and
Dapper.
He has the coolest name.
Right. It wasn't even that bad, Dapper.
He's also
it was
notable.
economically unlikely to evolve this specific protein.
Oh my god.
Right, that's what
It
I
was
said.
this specific
yeah,
protein.
this one protein. Like, okay, who cares? We don't need
Oh,
that.
yeah, great.
I'll
That
to you.
one sequence is rare. Congratulations. There's bajillions of other ones. Yeah.
Dang.
I have
Yeah,
a
what-
video. So to for that quote though, that's Douglas Axe, but I have a video where I have like 3 or 4 people saying that exact same thing. They all make that stupid ass argument.
To be fair, when I thought Douglas Axe, I literally only thought Douglas Axe after we went through everyone else, and I was like, "Who's left? Which
Who's
design
the
actor have
least
left?"
recognizable dude at Discovery Institute?
I
Like,
forgot
Douglas
about him, honestly. I didn't even
I-
think about it.
I
My
forgot
favorite
about
thing about
Discovery
Axe
Institute.
is that his basic argument just boils down to if the useful or the functional fraction of sequence space in DNA is 1/n, where n is sequence length, then it's unlikely for evolution to occur. And then you say, okay, but what if it's not? There you go. That's it. That's all you need.
Right.
I
Yeah. You
actually-
didn't establish
I'm
the premise.
I'm checking Professor Dave's Exposing the Discovery Institute playlist. He's
Cheater.
got he has the shortest video.
I know it's only like 2 minutes long. Erica.
That's because there's
Erica.
nothing to him. He just did
You
some
want to
bad.
hear an embarrassing fact about the Douglas Axe Professor Dave one?
Yes.
I wrote that one.
Nice.
Oh. Hey, raise your hand if you're on this channel and you didn't help with the Professor Dave video on the Discovery Institute.
Actually, I didn't.
I'm the only one not in camera. I literally
It's-
can't
That's
do
true.
that.
So let's see.
Yeah.
I did Meyer and both Beckley videos.
I
With
did-
you guys both,
Luskin.
you guys
I
both
did
helped me,
Luskin, both
Dan
Beckley
and
videos.
Erica. Yeah, you guys helped me with those.
Wait, Erica, who did you do?
I did Luskin the first time. I consulted on the Luskin the first time, and then I did both Beckley. I was on both Beckley videos.
Yeah.
And then I did Behe and Axe, and I think I helped with McClatchy.
And Meyer. You helped with
And Meyer. I did help with Meyer.
Yeah.
That's hilarious that we did the, yeah, that's great. I
Which,
love it.
yeah, I think one of us was talking about that today. Like the amount, okay, except for Erica here, but the rest of us, there are so many more eyes that get put on our stuff by
Chat,
filtering it through Dave.
Let's just for chat, just so like our little shadowy cabal here, we co-wrote the Discovery Institute series with Professor Dave on the DL.
Dan,
Right? That's
you have to.
It was
You
me
should
very-
see the number of creationists on Twitter, like who say like, "Oh, you want to talk about the Cambrian? Well, you need to talk to Dr. Meyer." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've I've read this. I've read all of it. What do you want to
tell
talk
me
about?"
it.
And then they go, whoosh, or they say like, "Oh, they talk about Professor Dave's video," and I'm like, "Yeah, that was me. What do you want to talk about?"
I wrote it.
Yeah, right.
And they go,
All right, we gotta go. You've been
So,
air horned. All
It's
right,
my turn, right?
all right. It is Jordan's turn.
I want to let everyone know because I'm woefully unprepared for this. I will be answering whatever the chat says. So, chat, get your answers in fast.
Democracy.
Chat, you have 10 seconds to give Jordan an answer before someone steals. All right, here we go. Ready? It can very reasonably be argued that random mutations are never good. Jordan, this is your moment.
Sanford?
Yes!
Hey!
Yeah.
You keep going. Just shoot that shot until it works.
That was, there you go. Okay, so
Sanford's
that
the
was
only creationist
Jordan,
I
you get a point.
2
Amazing.
points.
Yep, that
Don't-
is Dr.
don't
John
rob it.
Sanford in the book, Genetic Entropy and the Mystery of the Genome. Mutations are never good.
Genetic entropy is the one creationist argument that I feel comfortable saying has been disproven mathematically to a level of mathematical certainty that it is just not an option. There's nothing left to talk about.
Yeah.
The math
Mhm.
says no. Period. End of story.
I
Yeah.
was on Skep Talk last week, and someone brought up
That's awesome.
genetic entropy, and I was like, it's actually funny that you mentioned that because it's been mathematically disproven. I used your phrase in there, Dapper. I was like, it's been mathematically
Nice.
disproven, it doesn't work. And they were like, oh, what's the paper? I was like, actually, 2 of my close friends wrote it. Here it is. I was
There
like,
it
if you
is.
have any questions, you can email them and ask.
I wish
Yup.
the editor had let you keep in the BS as a acronym.
That would have
for-
been so funny.
Yeah.
for- was-
Oh,
was Rock Garden
I'm
and
so
Sanford?
disappointed they made us change it to B and S. I mean, it gets the point
Yeah.
across anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, the original draft with BS as the acronym was perfect.
Well,
Because there were lines that it was like, the first BS claim is...
Yep. I would like to read that draft. Do you still have that
Folks, okay,
draft?
hang on, time out. For chat who is not following what the hell we're talking about, Basner and Sanford, 2
Basner.
creationists, wrote a paper in 2018, and then Dr. Zach Hancock friend of all of us here. His channel is Talk Pop Gen.
Excellent channel.
His channel is Talk Pop Gen, and then he wrote a paper mathematically disproving this genetic entropy hypothesis, and I contributed a little bit. So he very generously allowed me to be a co-author on this paper, and this paper was published last year, and it is a mathematical proof refutation of genetic entropy, just straight up mathematically proved it's wrong. The end. Good night. And so in that draft of the paper referencing Basner and Sanford, they were originally referenced as BS. So when Zach was writing the draft, he would write like, the second BS claim is blah, 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 blah. And the editors who ultimately accepted the paper made us change that to B and S rather
Joyless
than BS.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
It was way more fun as BS. Yeah.
It's so funny.
So that is Dr. John Sanford from the FMS Foundation and Creation Ministries International. Also, for those of you that remember the collaboration between Sanford, Carter, and Paul Price, just scattershot at every genetic entropy critic ever. It's one of my all-time favorites on CMI.
Oh, man.
Paul Price was
Man.
on that.
Creationists bad at math. I could never say that as a geologist, knowing they butcher my field constantly with bad math.
Yeah.
All right, Dapper, this one's for you. Are you ready,
All right.
sir?
Here we go.
Here you go. The wood frog develops from it. This is two people, so there's two. You can get bonus points here. The wood frog develops from a single cell to a sexually mature adult in less than 3 years, undergoing massive phenotypic transformation in the process. By contrast, over the course of 4,365 years, the 37 cat species that exist today arose from a common field ancestor, a much smaller level of phenotypic change, thus producing extensive phenotypic species diversity in a few thousand years is not an unreasonable postulate.
Okay, so first, I'm pretty confident this is Jensen.
You are correct, sir. This is Jensen, but there's a co-author on this Answers Research Journal paper. I also just want to appreciate that Andrew Cumming nailed it before Dapper. Oh, wait, no, sorry, wrong. There we go. Nailed it before Dapper.
I was
Andrew,
following
nice
the
job.
rules of waiting until you finished your statement.
That's true. You did say that was early.
All right. Who's the co-author on that?
It's not a biologist, and I asked him about this, and he basically said, I just did the math. Don't ask me about the biology.
Oh.
I don't remember who it was.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah, Erica, you want Dapper, should I go to Erica for?
Yeah, go ahead.
Erica, go for it.
I don't know any of the mathematician Young Earth creationists.
No, well, he's not a mathematician, but he did the math.
He did the math, but he's not a mathematician.
He's not a mathematician, but he's not a biologist.
It wasn't
Steele.
Jordan.
Lyle.
It was Jason Lyle.
Oh, yes.
Oh, damn.
He haunts me at every moment. Not really.
I'm gonna say that might be the argument that gives me the most psychic damage out of any of these.
Dapper.
Because holy shit, dude! What
Dapper,
the fuck are you talking about?
After
You might get an email from someone. You might get an email from someone in a little bit because I sent them your way, and I was answering emails today. I was catching up on my emails. I'm several months behind. But apparently, someone sent me this video of Jason Lyle, and he's back on like the one at that same channel that he always goes on and does the same interviews with that same guy. And he's there to talk about bird evolution. Jason Lyle is there to talk about bird
I want to know what. Yeah, I want to know what Jason Lyle has to say about bird evolution. What the hell?
He's an astrophysicist.
They don't care.
Couldn't tell that. All I emailed back was bird evolution. WTF? Question mark? Because I was like, since when? What does he know about birds?
Do you remember when they trotted out Georgia Purdom to give a talk about flood geology?
Yes,
I
I do.
Oh my god!
They don't
remind me.
Hint. Georgia Purdom does make more than one appearance in this game. Just FYI. Just FYI. She's got some whoppers coming up. Just you wait.
I put her and Jensen in a single category, and that category is DreamWorks hair.
That's
that was
so
Dapper
true.
and Jordan
Yeah.
each got a point for that one, so we're good there. Okay.
Here, I'm putting the link in the side chat so everybody can have access to Lyle talking about bird evolution.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get a hold of that nonsense.
Can we just pause for a minute to appreciate the fact that Dr. Nathaniel Jensen, Harvard PhD, is a developmental biologist. That is his thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he here is conflating embryonic development with evolution. Embryonic development necessarily involves a single individual in a single generation. Evolution is populations over many generations. In embryonic development, you have all the genes you need right there. Everything is right there with no changes. And in evolution, it necessarily involves changes.
But see,
You're going
Dan,
to tell me, I just want someone to tell me with a straight face that he doesn't know those differences. I want someone to tell me that Jeanson, who graduated from Harvard with a PhD, does not know the differences.
okay, but see, here's the thing is, Dan, he might know the differences as he knows about them. But the thing is, because embryology is all just recapitulation of phylogeny, aka
That's what it is.
Haeckel. That's it. That's as far as
Jeanson
embryology
is, an Ernst Haeckel acolyte. That's what it is. Uh-huh.
Obviously.
That's
Obviously.
I'm going to say this, and I know it's heretical. I've actually come to appreciate ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny more the more that I've read about like developmental biology, because while
they're connected,
they are,
Yeah,
and
they
like
are.
in some really important ways.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
It's not fully accurate of a statement, but it does
Like,
work.
It's not
My
a
favorite one
timeline.
by
It's
far
just
is the
perfect.
fact that like birds, like the pubic, like birds form a pubic boot, which is only present in titania and theropods, that then disappears during their embryonic development. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what possible reason could they have if not like that? They're
so they
descended from
have a
titania
place
and
to
theropods?
sit inside the egg, Jackson.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, we got to move on,
Jackson,
folks.
he
We're
was
never gonna
cooking.
finish. We gotta move
he just
on.
got the end product a
All
little
right.
wrong.
My goal is to hit our halfway point at an hour, and we may do it. We're gonna see if I succeed. Halfway at an hour. Our next quote is for Gutsick Gibbon, right? Yeah, because we did 8, so we did 6, 7, 8, so we're up to 9. That's Gutsick Gibbon. Erica, are you ready?
I'm ready. Maybe.
I don't think you are, but we're gonna do it anyway.
We'll try it.
Here we go. Many evolutionists believe that dinosaurs haven't died out, but instead, hang on, let me.
I was just making sure I could see it.
This is not possible from a biblical creation perspective, since dinosaurs and birds are distinctive kinds, and since, here's the important part, there is no genetic mechanism to provide the information for novel traits necessary to make evolution happen. You heard it here, folks. No genetic mechanism for novel traits. Who is it?
No genetic mechanism for novel traits. Who says that all the time?
Professional,
Is
PhD.
I'm going to go, is this Rob Carter?
This is not Rob Carter. TD Lane, you're up.
Ooh.
It's a good guess, though. Rob Carter's a good guess. I like that one. Go for it, folks. I will say for people, there is no Kent Hovind, SFT, no YouTube randos in here. It's all professional people.
No SFT. No.
Like, no raw mat, no nothing. And I know
Wait, so we're not going to hear about how
multiple
Probatic
questions
Mathis doesn't
in
have
chat.
molars?
Yeah, I have a question. Is this the person who said this? Do they have a PhD in like biosciences?
They have a PhD in genetics, which is a big clue because there aren't many of those.
Steele, Georgia Purdom.
Georgia Purdom, Dapper with the steal.
I was going to say David Minton. That would
This
be my guess.
is Dr. Georgia Purdom answers in Genesis.
I should have. I can just hear her with that accent.
Dang it! I was thinking her as well. That's why I asked, because I wasn't certain if it was her
No,
or somebody
just go
else.
for it, man. You got to just go for it. Dapper,
Should've.
great steal.
Oh.
That was great.
That was a
Thank
good
All right.
one.
Okay,
That
we
was a
are
good
up
steal.
to TD Lane for our final question in round 2. TD Lane, are you ready to hear the quote?
Sure.
All right, here we go. You have to use a phylogenetic rate, which is performed by assuming a common ancestor between two species, like, say, humans and chimpanzees. In order to use that rate, you have to assume evolution is true. You have to assume humans and chimpanzees have a common ancestor. 10 seconds starts before people can steal.
Is this Rube?
This is not Roop. Jackson, you're up.
Is it Jensen?
It is not Jeanson. Jordan, to you.
Behe.
Not Behe. Dapper, you're up.
No chat.
Carter?
It is Rob Carter. Dapper is dominating this round.
Playing it tonight.
Dang.
Yeah, Erica, did
Dapper
you
is
have Dapper queued up for that one?
winning.
Or did
I
you
did
have
not
Carter
have-
queued up?
No, actually, my guess was going to be Luskin because I've been reading
Okay.
Luskin talk about this. I don't know if you guys know this, but he's got like 10 articles out right now on the human chimp genomic
He does,
similarity,
yeah.
and he says exactly that a couple
The thing is, for some reason, I could picture Carter on a canoe or a
You're
kayak
right,
or
you're
something.
right. It's that exact
Saying
video.
that.
Yes, it's the Carter on a canoe on a river video. Dapper, I'm giving you a bonus point just for that.
He,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
that's.
I'm giving you a bonus point, not just for getting the name right, but for identifying which Carter video it is. I transcribed that exact moment from the Carter
my
on
God,
a canoe
awesome.
video. Yup.
You should have had a canoe, like the canoe sound effect.
I'm so happy I remembered the video. I could
That
just
was
picture it in my
amazing.
brain. I'm like,
I'm
I know him saying this
Dang.
on a really cool background. Because
I
I'll
am
give him
Arbor-
this. Carter has some great locations for his videos. Carter, keep that up. Like, geez, you are doing a great job
Yeah.
when it comes to filming locations.
You really got to appreciate Carter's
It,
stuff.
it reminds
I'm-
me, unfortunately, of
Big
Stefan
Carter fan.
Milo, where he records in random places when he does his videos.
Okay.
I'm in general just a big Carter fan. I like his cadence. I like how he'll look at the camera really seriously and then he'll make like a little kind of a goofy face. I like that he uses the phrase gang tackled to talk about people ganging up on him.
when we did it, when the three of us
He's
did
so
the videos.
messy. He's
Yeah.
such a messy.
Well, that
bitch.
was Erica. Funny you mentioned that because the canoe video was the one he did in response to getting gang tackled after me and you and Dapper did the Carter videos
Mhm.
when he responded to your Tompkins video and said in the video, I haven't watched it and I'm not going to respond to her arguments in this video. Right. And we were like, dude.
Everyone watch the Carter trilogy. It's great. It's a new
It
Star
really
Wars.
is.
Okay.
Rob
Okay, so
Carter.
that was another round complete. We have another medium round, and then we have the hard round. So I'm going to pause us here and just go to the super chats. There's some really good ones. That especially that last one that I just saw is.
Dan, I'm going to grab a
incredible.
drink while you're doing that.
So we have from Meat Permits Tad for $2. The problem is they all reference each other. Yes. This is all just incestuous nonsense where one person says something really dumb and dishonest, and then everyone just repeats it. So it's really hard to figure out who is making these god-awful arguments.
What
Yes.
it is, Dan, is it's you're a professor. You have a class, and everyone has the same wrong answer. So somebody cheated, and everyone copied them, and you don't know who.
Yeah, the daisy chaining stuff is fun, especially like going through on a video. Like, well, this person said it most recently, but they got it from this guy, who got it from this other guy, who got it from this other guy.
Yeah, and I'm going to take this down so we can see Erica, because Erica, you are kind of doing that kind of thing right now.
Dude, it's absolutely insane how far back some of this shit goes. Some of the arguments that you see today, their original form was it's always fucking George McCready Price. Sorry, I used that one F-bomb. But it's George McCready
That's
Price.
it. Everyone else, no more.
Him,
That's it.
it's him musing, just like musing in his book Illogical Geology in like 1922. And he's like, yeah, it could be this. And then it's just like Whitcomb and Morris recapitulated it. And then Dwayne Gish recapitulates it. And then everybody
Yup.
after them siphons
Uh-huh.
it like these sponges. And then they just treat it like gospel. It's the weirdest thing. Like their fast coral clock growth rate in order to explain like coral atolls. That comes from like some random guy's musing in like 1938 or something like that.
Yes, RJ and I talked about that in Rocks Volume 1.
That might be where I got it from, Jackson, because that's an old. I referenced that in the coral
Because
clocks
Ariel
price I saw
Roth
years ago.
cites that one, and we went to the paper, and we were like, the number like is not even in there. Like, where are you getting this?
Yeah. By the way, I just want to say, I also saw this comment as we were going back through. This is a really fun game, but we need an audience bingo
That's
card to go
true.
with it. That's on me. I apologize. I actually meant to do that, but I am currently approaching the end of the second week of my first of 2 4-week summer classes. So I did not have time to get together a bingo card. And I apologize. I fully intended to and just did not have time to get it together for this because real life is a thing. And I spent, you all don't want to know the number of hours I spent finding these god-awful arguments to torture my friends and panelists with for this stream. Okay,
We appreciate
Did
it.
you get Nestle 20's super chat?
Oh, yep, that's the next one. Thank you, Jordan. This is so perfect because, speaking of the science friends, we were just talking about this today, weren't we? Sad to hear, if Dan included YouTube randos, he could have just used the quote for Martian.
Remember, kids, you gotta feed your nephews every day. You gotta give them the paper.
I honestly want to know what was going through his head when he decided it would be a good idea to just eat multiple pieces of paper on camera.
That was
It's not
Nephilim
like a
free
bite.
for anyone.
It's like a
No,
whole.
It was
big
probably
piece
a
of-
light breeze, in the air out there.
Yeah, or to be fair, what possessed him to leave up his escort search tab when screen sharing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dapper, you're citing the deep lore now.
This
I
is
don't
That
know.
is
Dapper is so far down the rabbit hole.
That's the way.
That
Okay,
is
folks,
deep.
let us. So we're going to do another round where, again, we're going to shift. So we're going to do another 5 medium questions or medium quotes, where Jordan is going to start us for this round. So, so let's get to. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hang on a second. There should be a. Hang on, I screwed up. There should be a bonus question somewhere. Well, no, that's right. I didn't put a bonus question in here. Never mind. There's no bonus question here. We're going to go right to number 11. Jordan, this is for you. Round the third. Quote, today, no one denies the existence of an ice age. Evolutionists and modern creationists disagree on the timing and the number of ice ages, but both freely invoke the phenomenon. 10 seconds before you can steal.
Chat Donnie's not one of the answers. You can't give me that. I'm gonna go with Snelling.
Oh, that's a good guess, but it's not Snelling. Dapper, you want
Okay,
to grab it?
Steal.
Steal.
Oh,
Jensen.
It is Jensen.
Yeah, I should just answer
Really?
Jensen for all of these.
Crazy.
okay.
It is Jensen in replace. That is Dr. Nathaniel
That's
Jensen
replacing
in
Darwin.
replacing Darwin,
Oh man.
where he says
Oh, man.
there's one ice age, and he's like, "Look, we're not disagreeing about ice ages. You say there's ice ages. I say there's ice age. You say they were tens of thousands of years. I say it was 4,000 years ago. You say there were a bunch. I say there were one. Yeah, that was
Both
that was
freely
same thing.
invoke.
ice ages and replacing
Just
Darwin.
sprinkle a few ice ages here and there.
Who
Who needs like
no.
oxygen isotope ratios? Or,
It's
just-
fine.
Look, tomato, right? One ice age, a handful of ice ages. What's
The ice age is
100,000
two
years
ice
between
ages.
friends? Whatever, right? Yeah. Nathaniel Jensen is truly the gift that keeps on giving, because this is a man who has a legitimate PhD from Harvard and makes just the shittiest arguments over and over. And I will go to the grave claiming that no professional young earth creationist has less respect for their young earth creationist audience than Nathaniel Jensen.
And that's a low bar.
Nobody is more willing to just peddle bullshit to their audience than Nathaniel Jensen. And that's a
worth
great
pointing
example.
out that
So
the
wait, hold
German
on, where
word
did
for
he get his
poison is
degree?
gift.
There you go.
Where did he get that degree again? I forget.
It was a school outside of Boston. You may not have heard of it.
MIT?
Maybe. I don't remember. It was, I don't know. It was one of those schools outside Boston. I don't know. Might have
Probably
been
one of those
BC.
schools that's no longer allowed to accept foreign students.
Yeah, right. I think it was that one. All right. Let us continue. Dapper, it is your turn. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, here you go. Quote, the main finding of significance to the issue of alleged common ancestry between humans and chimpanzees is the fact that the average alignment identity was only 84%.
I'm going to have to go with Tompkins on this one.
I think that's right. I believe this is Tompkins, but actually I have to pull up my answer key because there's so many that did this. Hang on a second. I actually have to pull up my answer key and look. Hang on a second. This is number 12. That was Tompkins. Yes, correct. This was Tompkins when he stopped using the bugged version of.
Oh, good. And instead just stopped also weighting his averages?
That
Okay,
was so
yeah.
exactly. So this is the one. So if you read the quote, this is exactly it. The average alignment identity was 84%, which means for each little sample he used, it was 84%, but he didn't weight them by length.
Yeah.
But he was at least using the right version of BLAST.
And to be fair, if you don't, from what I understand, if you don't weight them, that is in fact the average sequence identity value. Like he did average them correctly to get a median. It's just that that's a dumb way to do it.
That's a dumb way to do it. It's true. All right, so Dapper gets a point for that one.
The stank eye on Erica right now.
I know Erica was ready to steal that one. Erica
I'm
was
also
ready.
just
She was
like-
watching the clock going 9, 8.
Well,
Sorry,
the thing is that surely everybody, my job is done because everybody in the chat and everybody on this panel knows who is associated with those specific numbers, 70 and 84. We all know who those
We all know.
Oh, yeah.
We all know. Can I just appreciate, actually, speaking of your job being done, can I just appreciate in the last week and a half on the debate evolution subreddit, there were 2 different threads where someone was like, hey, I've got a friend, I'm dealing with this argument. Like, can anyone recommend good YouTube channels to deal with this creationist stuff? And the recommendations in that thread were Erica, Dapper, me, Jackson, Joel, Zach, Professor Dave. Like, it was us, in the same way that 20 years ago, if somebody had asked that, they would have been like, oh, check out science blogs, check out Panda's Thumb. And it was completely in the
science
wild.
communication.
It wasn't like me or our friend, you all know, Covert Cuttlefish. It wasn't like one of us in there saying, here's who to look at. It was in the wild. The answers were Erica, Dapper, and so on. And like, it was just so like rewarding to see that. Of like, yeah, people are actually getting this stuff.
Well, we are a deplorable ilk, if I remember correctly.
We sure are.
So
I mean,
deplorable.
It's one of those things where our work is like, or your guys' work, because I don't make videos, but like, it's actually impactful, and there are other people that notice that either do regular like science communication or handle other areas of like pseudoscience and pseudohistory. Notably in his 2 billion subscriber special that came way after he got 2 billion subscribers, Minimip and Milo Rossi shout out Erica, well, a whole bunch of archaeology and anthropology people. So that's level of impact we're getting, and that's really cool.
Didn't you get a shout out on the Joe Rogan show also?
Who did?
There was like somebody did or showed like it was like a screenshot or something that had like you in it, that had your channel. No, that had Erica. I was referring.
Oh, Erica, yeah.
That had Erica.
That was probably Milo's shout out because he did like a big. Here are a bunch of channels that if you want to debunk pseudoscience or learn archaeology or anthropology, and then I was like, there I am.
That's phenomenal.
Erica on Joe Rogan when.
My big like consulting claim to fame over the past year was I added a little bit to Dan Olson's Mantrax video, which is creationism, which was really cool because I love Dan Olson. Folding Ideas is sick. So I was like very humbled by that. But I like to imagine, we're a decent sized fish. The pond is small, but you can see us from the surface of the pond. We're big enough fish.
All right, we gotta go. We gotta do it. Okay. All right, we got to do it. Okay. It's Erica's turn, right? That was Dapper. You got that question?
It's my turn.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so it is Erica's turn. Erica, here is your quote.
Okay.
A campaign of arm twisting from about 1930 to 1950 curdled an abstract, mathematized version of Darwin's theory, dubbed neo-Darwinism, into place in academia as the default explanation for evolution. Since math can be intimidating, neo-Darwinism has since been entrenched there ever since, handed down from professor to graduate student entirely through intellectual inertia. The argument here, folks, is that biologists are afraid of math.
This has got to be Casey Luskin.
You're so close, but this is not Casey Luskin. TD Lane, it is your turn.
Oh, goodness.
Right, correct blog, wrong hack.
Oh, what's the blog is my question.
When will it be Casey Luskin?
Oh, geez. I never remember which organization they belong to because they jump so often. Let's go with
Chat, help him out. I did recently quote this in a video. It's a recent one.
Oh, that makes this worse.
No one wants to steal?
Steal, B.
Dapper wins with the steal for Michael B.
That was my guess.
Michael B. Dapper with the steal. I love how the chat is just flagrantly cheating and we're just leaning into it.
I haven't pulled it up.
I forgot my rule.
I'm not looking at chat.
It's not like we have anything riding on this, so like, who cares?
Right, go
Please
for
be
it.
clear.
Go
I
big or
am
go
not a
home.
crook.
That was going to be my guess.
They're both so big on the neo-Darwinism thing, though. Like,
I
they both harp on that.
That
I
or
don't
Meyer.
get it.
Meyer
because,
would have been my
A,
other
it's
guess,
not
but
just
I-
all math, and B, it's not the current theory.
Can we just appreciate biologists are afraid of math, therefore Darwinism is just such an amazing argument to make.
I've read a fair few papers in the field of biology broadly. They all had math in them. All of them.
You got to do math. You got.
Yeah.
I just did just today in my class. We did math in my.
So do you get like an engineer to come in and do that for you? Is that how it works?
I'm gonna kick you.
Because we do like
you're
we have our
muted. You're
students-
done. You're muted.
They use a program like you can have the students use like R or SPSS or something like that, and like you give them like a little data. Yeah, do you hate SPSS?
I hate SPSS. I'm
Well,
an R.
It's
fangirl.
baby. It's baby. You know, it's like it's math analysis for babies. So like that's what the students tend to use. But yeah, I mean like that's you have it right there. It's math.
Evolution is a mathematical field. As our friend Zach likes to like convey to people, like it is a mature, robustly mathematical field, and creationists don't want to engage with that. They want to pretend we're just looking at bones, and that's the end of it.
Well, even
like,
in
this is-
that case, though, even in paleontology, right?
Yep.
Like, where's the most recent paper where somebody is just like coming up and like laying a bunch of bones next to each other and being like, well, that looks kind of like that. It's like, no, if you show up without some kind of geometric morphometrics or some kind of like ECA or CVA or something like that to show how things are clustering to make these relationships with the summary stats included in the main text, you're not going to get anything accepted.
Yeah, I don't remember last time I read a paleontology paper that didn't have any math. Some of them can be relatively math light, but like
That's
they've
true.
got math.
If it's describing a brand new bone, then it's going to be mostly just like anatomical descriptions, right? But they're not claiming relationships typically in there. They might say
Even that's going to involve things like anatomical ratios and whatnot. There's
true.
going to be some math.
Actually, I have something
Oh,
interesting
it was
to
at the
think
end of
about
the video.
this.
Hang on. I meant to hang on a
Respect
second.
the horn.
There we go.
Can
I forgot to
get this
reset the
in,
video,
please?
so I only did the tail end just there. All right.
Can I get
Next.
this in, please? Because this is interesting on what they're talking about.
Do it.
Which is like, this is a common like thread between pseudoscience culture, I notice, even if they're completely unrelated, is they just don't engage with math, and when they do it badly.
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me.
It's true.
Mhm.
Okay. Are we ready? TD Lane, it is your turn. You ready, sir?
Yes.
I don't think you are. Not for this, but here we go. It's so
No,
bad.
really.
It's so bad. I don't even know which one's
Oh,
next,
boy.
and it's so bad. All right, here it is. Though we observe multiple species and varieties within kinds, we never observe one kind evolving into a different kind. It is not Kent Hovind.
This is
all of them.
everyone.
That's
No,
Oh,
that's the point of the game. Just pick
the
a name.
entirety of Answers in Genesis.
It is somebody from Answers in Genesis. That is a good. I'm going to give you a point for that, TD Lane. You get a point for correctly identifying
Thanks.
the organization.
Thanks. Shoot. No, let's go with Georgia Purdom.
Yes!
Nice.
That's amazing. That was an amazing poll. Oh my goodness. That was incredible.
She's
Yes,
the only one who
that was
talks anymore,
Dr.
so yeah.
Yeah, that was like the most generic creationist quote you could have possibly put up there.
And he nailed it on the first guess. That was great. Awesome. Well played, sir. I mean, that could have been Kent. That could have been Ken Ham. That could have been any random. Right. Because it doesn't matter if they have a PhD or not. They all make the same stupid arguments.
Mhm.
Yeah, they've been making the same arguments for 100 years.
I can't believe you got that on the first guess. That was fantastic. Great job.
They've been making,
And then we've got our friend RJ in the chat here. I want it to be Henry Morris or Dwayne Gish. I'm not going to spoil anything, but hold that thought, my friend.
oh no.
Boy.
That's a hint for later, folks. Just hold
Uh-oh.
that thought. All right. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to click on that. Didn't mean to click. There we go. Okay.
Oh no,
Um,
my Patreon. Sorry you all had to see that. My
I
bad.
put it down right away.
Oh, but since it's there, you can all contribute. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Jackson, for the number 15, the final one in this round. Are you ready?
It's ready as I'll ever be.
Ready as you'll ever be. Here it is. And then another striking event occurred in the Eocene period where you get the first mammals. I can't believe this lands on
This one
Jackson.
isn't fair because you
That should have been
asked
the
me
easy
this
section.
one.
That was well, no, I didn't assign, order or anything. That is just luck of the draw, Jackson.
Dapper, I wouldn't be throwing that stone in a glass house with your Tompkins question.
All right. Well,
yeah, and Erica,
okay.
you got Roop with Pygmy, okay? So don't.
I did. I got Rupert.
All right. Well,
right, Jackson,
you know what?
hit me.
I'm gonna take it. Who is Stephen Meyer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that question was again,
That just hit me like a
when
truck,
I wrote
man.
the questions, I randomized the order so there was no bias
That's
in terms
fair.
of which ones I
Yeah.
came up with first might be more obvious or something. I
Yeah.
randomized the order, and then the order here is also, I didn't assign the order, so sometimes people are just going to get quotes that they, hypothetically may have encountered while helping Professor Dave write a script.
That
to
one,
take
that was a really good one. Well, because he does
Yeah.
that list. He's like, oh, you don't see the first, the first plants before whenever the first, and like it's like most of those are pretty standard. Like, okay, yeah, you see flowers in the Cretaceous, blah blah blah, and then he goes the first mammals in the Eocene, and I was like, what did he just say?
Yeah,
Like,
in case anyone is wondering,
the
by the
first
way,
animals in the Cambrian,
crown
Yeah, it's
mammals
bad.
come out in the Jurassic,
Yeah,
and we have Mammaliaformes in the Triassic, and they're
Yep.
probably evolving maybe a little bit before that. Like, we've got things that if
Yeah.
you saw them, you'd be like, yeah, that's probably a mammal, even though it technically wasn't.
Yeah,
Way
there are
before
some
the
things like Heramiavia that are like, is it a mammal? Is it a stem mammal? Like the teeth are like really hard to tell because it's so close. Because literally all these things are like, is there a ridge on the back of the tooth,
Yeah.
or is it like on the side of the tooth? Like that's what it comes down to with these really close ones.
Yeah, and isn't it one of those things where it's really difficult to figure out where crown mammalia like actually sits because the main feature we're looking for, which is mammary
Yeah, it's like the
glands,
cusp-
don't preserve.
Yeah, it's like the cusps on the teeth is like
Yeah,
literally
that.
what you're having to look at, and like the shape of the skull is basically all you've got.
Mhm.
I'm about to
Yeah.
air horn all of y'all
All right.
because we still
There's-
have a whole other round, and it gets so much worse.
You have a
Oh,
super
boy.
chat to get to. I believe.
All right.
Oh boy.
Okay, so before we go, because that was 15. So before we go, I'm just gonna take a little time out here. There was one more super chat here to get to. Kent, the bacteria kind Halstead, you are being extraordinarily generous, and I appreciate it. You guys make me want to never claim stuff with confidence ever again. That is called learning science, is what that is called.
It's a
all-
good impulse.
All of it should be held lightly. But the best thing is, if you're wrong, you just have to change your mind, and it's like magic. You're not wrong anymore. Boom.
This one weird trick, Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean,
One weird trick creationists hate. You can just change your mind. It's okay. It's fine.
yeah.
Okay. All right, folks. So we have a third. So we've done 3 rounds, and the points that we have earned in round 1, I already said it was 1 for TD, 1 for Jackson, 1 for Dapper, 2 for Erica. In round 2, our first round of medium questions, it was 2 for Jordan, 4 for Dapper, because I arbitrarily awarded him an extra point for getting the canoe video, and he stole some stuff. And then Erica also got 1. And then in that most recent round, also medium questions, we got 2 for TD Lane, 1 for Jackson.
Wait, didn't I get an extra point from?
I gave you the extra point for getting the organization. So you got the organization and the person. Yeah.
Oh.
Because you got the org before you were like, this is AIG. I don't know who it is. And I'm like, fine, good enough.
All right.
And then we got 2 for Dapper and 1 for Guts to Give It in there. And remember, Dapper and Erica both have a deduction on the books, but they each
So
have
what are
one.
the totals?
Oh, sorry.
then?
Yeah. Was it Jordan and Dapper? No, sorry. I have my deduction in the wrong place. It's not Jordan. It is Erica has a deduction. There we go. Got it. Okay.
What
My
are
score
the
sheet is now
I thought it was
correct.
Jordan.
Dan, can
And
we
if
get the
my
total-
score sheet is wrong, then like too bad, because my rules, I get to tell you who wins anyway. So,
Can we get the totals, Dan?
Yeah, so the totals are TD Lane 3, Jackson 2, Jordan 2, Dapper 6, Erica 4. But Dapper and Erica each have a deduction.
So it's 5 and 3 then.
So it's 5 and 3. So it's
I would like
anybody's.
to.
Oh, but wait a minute. Those are just raw numbers. The questions I just gave you, all those medium questions, were worth 2 points.
This is
So-
like trying to buy something in Hearthstone where everything isn't gems or like whatever weird currency the game has.
Okay. hang on
Me
a second.
trying
I'm
to
just
trade
updating
villagers.
the scores here. Just a second. Yeah, that's correct. And then you get one, and you get one. There we go. Okay.
Carry
So
the
given
3, multiply by 5.
Yeah, no, really.
Here's
It's from top to bottom here. The current scores are 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 5.
Wow, Dapper's running away with it.
Dapper's doing
He's
really
running
well.
away with it.
Dapper's doing really well here. I
I
will say,
probably do spend more time on this than anyone else
I will
here, to be fair.
meat permits Tad, round 5, all Hovens. No.
Oops,
No,
all
Hovens.
It is. I look. I promise you, it is all Hoven level arguments. Round 5 is abysmal. Or round 4, the hard round, is abysmal. You will all hate it. So let's move on to our next. Wait, bonus quote, 2 points.
You have to do it in the AI voice from Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Right, like boss battle. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. I Jordan, I thought that when I wrote it.
Yeah.
I just want to say I thought that when I wrote it. Okay. Bonus quote, 2 points. First to shout the answer gets it. Is everybody ready? Is everyone
Do it.
good? Or is the
Yeah.
panel ready? Also,
I was typing extremely loud.
It's tedious.
Apologies.
also,
Clickety clack.
also, chat, feel free to cheat. And if you read a name in chat,
Love
just like go for it. Why not? Just why not? All right, are we ready? Here it is.
Yeah.
With a Judeo-Christian ethic, we saw certain ideas, certain morals as correct because this is what our culture taught us. But basically, Darwin was able to demolish a lot of that culture. And he did that by substituting the idea that God
This
created
is Jerry
us.
Bergman.
This is Jerry Bergman.
Jerry
Erica,
Bergman.
go in.
I was thinking that.
He set out to murder God. I was
He
like,
set
oh,
out
I
to
know
murder
that
God.
guy.
I was getting flashbacks to your
Oh.
debate.
That is 2 points for Gutsit Gibbon for Jerry Bergman. Darwin set out to murder
And
God.
we're here
Yes.
to finish the job.
Please.
That
We'll
is-
do what Darwin couldn't.
Can we just appreciate that in the debate? This is a moment that stuck out to me in the debate. He said this, and I was like, okay, I'm like really up to date on the history of creationism right now. He never said that. He said he felt like he was confessing a murder. He said this to, who was it? I think it might have been Charles Lyell, like one of his buddies who he was sending letters to. And when I said that to Jerry, Jerry was like, oh, well, but it had the same effect. And I was like, it's just not true though. Like,
But if
you're
you,
just
but
lying
like,
about
but like Erica, hypothetically, if there's a really bad rainstorm and you can't, and you're driving and you accidentally hit something, that's different from purposefully driving your car into somebody else's car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Right?
Makes sense.
That's a different thing.
It's a different
Right? So, like, hypothetically, the
manslaughter.
first
It's
person set
manslaughter,
out to
Gus.
murder, did not set out to murder somebody, and the second person,
Was
hypothetically,
Gunter Beckley. Oh,
was
sorry.
Gunter Beckley.
Okay.
Never gets
Because-
old. Never gets old.
Because the man was a murderer. Like, screw
It's
that.
Like the
guy.
children of
Like,
Anti that
until-
experience.
Until we get a collective DI argument or article telling us that we're like slandering a dead man's name.
Yeah, we are. We're not
It's not
slandering him.
slander
It's true.
if it's true.
Yeah.
It's not
And-
slander. If
I mean,
it's
the
true.
police report is out there. Like, that's what I'll say is that you can.
They're not
you
just
can check out
deplorable
on it.
ilk, they're detestable ilk. Yeah, I don't know.
Look,
all right, folks.
I'm okay with being a little easier on dead people, unless you're a murderer.
Unless
Then I
you're
just,
a
I just don't care.
Yeah.
No, it's easy. Okay, folks, we are up to round 3, part 3, hard. If you get these questions, you need a new hobby. I know
You're so
this
right.
is. You need a hobby that's not this.
Actually, Dan, I'm
Oh,
way
joy.
ahead of you.
All right. So for this one, this is no, go back. Okay,
It's Dapper.
we're gonna start with Dapper for this one because it's round 4. Erica,
Okay.
sorry, you happen to be 5th in line. I don't have a 5th round. We're not starting with. You don't get to start a round. So
Correct,
Dapper,
Erica.
the first one is for Dapper for this one, and as you saw, it is a long one, but just you'll see. It's
Wait till you're
there's-
done.
There's stuff going on. Here we go. Is COVID-19 evolving? No, but it is rapidly changing. Many people have asked us if the mutations we are seeing in the SARS coronavirus 2 virus is proof that it is evolving. This is a fair question, and answering it allows us to explain the difference between mutation and evolution while putting the entire COVID-19 pandemic squarely in a creation context. Is mutation the same thing as evolution? The answer to this question is simple. No. Changes like this are expected. This does not mean the virus is evolving. 10 seconds, Dapper.
So first I thought Charles Jackson, but this sounds like something someone wrote, so that's probably not him then.
I like it. You're correct.
I'm gonna go Carter again.
It is Rob Carter.
I was gonna say Carter.
It is Dr. Rob Carter
Awesome.
from Creation Ministries International.
If it hadn't sounded that literary, I would have gone with Charles Jackson because he says bullshit like that about microbes all the fucking time.
He sure does.
That was Rob Carter's amazing article on how the genetics of the population of the virus are changing, but it's not evolving. And it's like, my friend, that is literally the definition of evolution.
Is this your evolution?
It's like watching someone climb a ladder and then saying, well, he's not ascending. He's just climbing the ladder. Like
It's like the entire quote, just one goalpost moving.
Yeah. And he's been doing this
walking
recently.
away.
He recently, in just earlier this year, Carter, he defined evolution as mutation fixation.
Oh, I remember that bullshit.
That's not what it is, though.
Oh, but Dapper, I will say, and I apologize for not including this, but Dapper, I did not include the cheetah effective versus census population.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, thank God.
That ruined cheetahs for me for over a year. Every time I would see a cheetah, which is an organism I generally like,
you were like Rob Carter.
Rob Carter screwing up the difference between effective and census population sizes, and how much it pissed me off.
Credit where
Dapper out in the savannah.
Because Carter will just be like, "Yeah, I guess I was wrong on that."
He did cop to that one.
Although he said one of my critics, he didn't bother to say that it was me.
Right.
He put that part on the DL.
After he tried to dox you unsuccessfully.
Jeez. This is one of the reasons why I have a lower opinion of Carter than I think Erica does. I'm
the attempted yet unsuccessful doxing was pretty bad. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
And hey, shout out to what's the chess guy? He works for the same group. He's a chess master.
Who?
Is it a creationist?
Yeah, he's a creationist.
Is it McClatchy? He does chess stuff. I've seen him do chess stuff.
McClatchy.
Oh, I have a book that he wrote that Zach sent me. What the heck's his name? He blocked me eventually on Twitter.
I have no idea.
Oh, whatever. He's the one who ended up actually fixing that because it was brought to his attention.
There you go. Erica.
Yeah.
The next quote is for you.
Okay, do it.
And is everyone ready to attempt a steal?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Number 17 for 4 points. The fossil evidence for human evolution is extremely weak. I would say that the case for human evolution is driven more by an undying belief in materialist ideology than it is actual hard evidence. Which creationist PhD said this? 10 seconds.
It's gonna be him eventually. This has gotta be Casey Luskin.
It is Casey Luskin.
Finally.
What a quote.
That is Dr. Casey Luskin Discovery Institute. Excellent.
No, I have to think about this quote.
Great poll. Yup. That is
He's a weird
such a nothing. Such a nothing.
I did an entire response series to him, and the whole time he was just shouting, and I'm like,
yeah,
why is he doing this?
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like he's just shouting, like, believe me, because I believe this, because I definitely believe this. Please validate me.
Maybe the camera zoomed in on him and it's like actually across the room, so he just has to shout.
Well, the thing I was responding to didn't actually have video footage, so I just gave him a little flappy mouth, and I put him in a particular uniform that you might have seen if you watched The Man in the High Castle.
Yeah.
My next Casey Luskin video, I'm really toying around with just titling it like, "You have one chance to correct yourself, please."
Yeah, I'm going to give you one chance.
I'm going to give you one chance, and then the next time we have to have this conversation, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to put on a meme jacket. And
I'm gonna count to 3.
I'm gonna be a lot of memes.
Discovery Institute. I'm gonna count to 3.
You
have until 3.
I'm gonna
to
count
fix
to
your
3.
blog posts.
And I'm gonna need you to correct that blog post right now, Casey. Especially because he's like, I'm so mad about this that I emailed the Smithsonian Institution and told them that they need to change their placard. And I'm about to be like, Casey, I'm giving you one shot to change these blog posts. One chance.
Oh man. I know chat, I know you all been playing along and I'm not following every guess you make, but I just want to highlight that NXCK 2440 nailed that one immediately. So
do you guys remember with regard to the deep lore when Dembski got his like specified complexity idea shredded by some like mathematicians?
Yes.
And he wrote a little paper that was like, I wish that evolutionists would attack each other as hard as they're attacking me.
Oh, go to
Like,
an
that's-
evolution
Yeah,
conference,
Eric,
sir.
right, you're gonna
They
see one of
are.
those.
What?
Go to an evolution conference. Just see. We did.
Honestly,
Erica's definitely going to get one of those posts from Luskin where he's like,
hope
"Oh,
so.
I wish that Erica would attack the other evolutionists as hard as she's attacking me."
The thing is, not being attacked very hard is a sign that what you're doing is completely stupid and no one cares.
I'm
Yeah.
so prepared for the Casey Luskin like quintuplet of blog posts afterwards too. But like,
Oh yes.
I'm
Oh,
really
yeah.
sorry
Because there's never just
Try not to
one.
be
There's
wrong.
never
Try
just
not to
one.
be wrong. I'm literally begging. And here's the thing too. He put the blog posts out there, and he put 5 of them out there. Across
So many.
those 5 blog
Why?
posts, you have to
Oh.
realize
And to
that
say-
you're wrong on this.
Can I just say my personal favorite is the one where it's the AI slop of like the chimp
Oh.
like hammering the ground with like the big number 1 in the background
hate
for because yeah,
Incredible.
it's bad.
Yeah.
There's all the AI thumbnails now. It's so bad.
You're
All right.
right, Erica. When I saw that Beckley did 8 posts, I wanted to cry.
Yeah, no, that's winning because every moment of their time they spend fighting with us is a moment of their time they're not spending convincing somebody
That's
because
fine.
nobody cares about
For
like some
someone
stupid
like
fight
me
on the
who's-
internet.
I've been cursed by like a forest witch, right? Like I can't talk about these people without going through every sentence. And so this is like, oh, I see 5 Casey Luskin posts. I'm like, that's a 3-hour video, right?
Yep.
Like I'm like, I have to
Have
make a
fun.
3-hour video now because Casey Luskin can't stop being wrong on Maine, right? And that's my cross to
All
bear.
right, TD Lane, it is your turn, my friend.
Oh, joy.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's see what you got. Here's the next one, number 18. We all have the same data. It's really a question of the worldview we interpret that data through, and when viewed with the right worldview glasses, the biblical and scientific evidence support a global famine. That's the takeaway. This is a twofer. It's not just biblical glasses. It's not just global FUD, global famine. Who is it?
Oh man, I've heard this one before, and I can't place it exactly. Because the gut response is obviously to say that it was Ken Ham.
That is the
But-
obvious answer, and it is
Yes.
incorrect. So
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, right organization though.
eh,
Anyone want to steal? We're in the steal window. Do
Is
it.
it
Do
Bodhi
it. Come on, do
Hodge?
it for 4 points. Do it.
Is it
Actually,
Bodhi
you gotta
Hodge?
say steal first.
You gotta
Well,
say
it's his
steal.
turn. It's his
Steal.
turn. He doesn't have to say steal.
Well, wait, no, it's TD
Wait.
Lane's.
no,
Oh,
I
Lane's turn.
know
So
it's
some-
not
Oh.
Ken Ham because we
They
wouldn't
steal.
put Ken
Someone said-
Ham on here, would you? You wouldn't put him on here, would you, Dan?
We'll see, but this is not Ken Ham.
Yeah.
Someone can say steal.
I don't know this one, so I'm not trying
It's
to
the
steal.
right organization. Jordan, you should just go with your heuristic. No, not that one.
goodness,
The other
I-
one.
I'm eating shit right now because I don't remember AIG people names. I just know.
TD
like,
Lane, give us a name, and then I'll go to Jackson.
Let's hear Jeanson.
It's Jeanson.
It's like I know it's AIG. I just don't know who
It's Jeanson.
because it's
Jeanson.
it's very AIG coded.
If you put on
Yeah.
your Bible glasses, not only was there a global flood, but there was a global famine, and that is an argument made in seriousness, right? That is an argument
When
made
was
in
the
anger
famine?
by Dr. Nathaniel
Good
Jeanson.
question.
Yeah.
When
It
did
probably,
that happen?
I knew I
it
heard it
probably
before.
was during Joseph's stint in Egypt as vizier.
Of course.
Okay.
In the compressed
That
8,000
is
years of
just-
history for Egypt.
By
They
the
have
way,
to
shout
shove
out
in-
Shout out to our friend Joel Duff for that one. That's where I found that one from Joel Duff's archives.
Go watch Joel. He's cool.
Joel
That
does.
one-
My favorite video by him is the one he did of the was the Bighorn Basin, the like Sundance Formation, where he talks about he cites a paper that's like there are like 4 quadrillion like belemnite fossils.
Mhm.
Like the ground itself
Love that one.
is just made of like Griffia and belemnite fossils. Like the paper
Yeah.
calculates literally quadrillions of these.
Wow.
There are places where you just the ground is fossils.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep, it's really cool. If you've
actually-
ever walked on chalk, you are walking on fossils.
I mean,
That's
that's true.
all of
That's true.
them. They're all rocks and livers and different organs. So
Kill this man of hammers.
Wait, do we have any Roger from Mud Fossil U in this
Yeah,
today?
we don't have Roger. No, because that would be in
Aw.
the paper chewing noises category. Oh man,
I will still never
folks,
get over-
folks, if someone wants to pick up that gauntlet and do a round for YouTube randos, I am so
Oh,
in.
that
But
would be
I want to
wonderful.
be on the
That would be
panel for that
beautiful.
one.
I would never get any of those.
I'm never going to physically recover from hearing Roger say, "That cave is a vagina, and I know my way around a vagina," and that's one. I'm like, oh my god.
How about
Obviously,
for-
Dapper would
for
have to
the
be there.
randos?
Erica would have to be there. And we have
For
to
the
drag
randos,
Wilford
we-
on camera.
Yeah, Erica, go ahead.
For the randos, like we definitely need the one where Donnie says he could break Dan in half.
No, that was
Yeah.
Raw Matt. That
Oh,
was
Raw
Matt.
Matt,
I could-
Raw Matt.
That was Raw Matt. I
Raw
could break
Matt.
you in half on a bad day.
Classic.
Yep,
Man,
that was
this quote though. Hey, let's just take all of dynastic Egypt, all of pre-dynastic Egypt, and then the rest of Neolithic pre-Egypt, and shove them into like 100 years.
Yep.
This is fine.
it's
Don't
fine.
worry about it. Don't.
This
it's-
old
it's-
Kingdom Egypt, just don't worry about it. Just don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
just
Don't worry about it.
Nakata 1, Nakata 2, doesn't
Old
matter.
Kingdom Egypt literally has to last a century in their model.
because it's one of those things where Egypt is one
Like-
of those super easy
Yeah.
to track throughout the Neolithic culturally, because you have a cultural community here and people coming into the cultural community.
I
And
just
there's
want to
so much
say
going on.
we are all Triceratops right now. Dapper Dinosaur, why did you remind me? Yeah, that's everybody right now.
Because
Everybody.
that reminded me, and I took the psychic damage, so now I have to share it because misery loves company.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's I mean, honestly, that's
Oh,
what is
man.
the science, friends, if not just group therapy for all of
Basically, yeah. Like, hey, let me trauma dump about internet creationists.
Oh man. All right, here we go. Number 19. This one is for Jackson.
Mm.
We're getting into the good. We're getting it. This is the uncut shit now. We're
Good is a strong word to use.
Here you go. Ready, Jackson? Here you go.
It'll ever be.
Here you go. First of all, the lack of a case for evolution is clear from the fact that no one has ever seen it happen. If it were a real process, evolution should still be occurring, and there should be many transitional forms that we could observe. What we see instead, of course, is an array of distinct kinds of plants and animals, with many varieties within each kind, but with very clear and apparently unbridgeable gaps between the kinds. That is, for example, there are many varieties of dogs and many varieties of cats, but no dats are cogs. Yes, someone made a professional PhD creationist made this argument. Yes. This could
Is this-
literally be Kent Hovind if the English was slightly worse.
Is this Georgia Purdom?
This is not Georgia Purdom.
Dang, because she made
Jordan,
a similar
you're up.
argue. We wrote about a similar thing she said with regard to snapdragons and dogs.
I want to just, I'll
So-
give you a hint. This creationist is no longer with us.
This has got to be Dwayne Gish.
You need to say Steele before you
Steele,
make a
Dwayne
guess.
Gish.
That is a 4-point deduction for Erica. It is not Dwayne Gish. It's the other one. Who's the other one?
Steal Henry Morris.
It's Henry Morris. Dapper Dinosaur. Henry Morris.
Man,
Sorry, Erica.
man.
Okay. Yeah,
What,
that
what
is-
I am learning right
that is
now
the-
is that despite the fact that I do, in fact, have a few hobbies, I need to find another one.
Oh,
Have you
man.
considered
That
it worth
is-
the expensive plastic
That is,
miniature?
yeah.
Yes, I
that
have,
is-
and I've rejected it.
That is
Too
quite
expensive to be, I know,
literally.
right?
That is quite literally a crocoduck level argument from the
Oh, yeah.
grandfather of modern scientific creationism.
I
They've
can't
always
imagine
been this
anyone
bad.
this century making this argument, frankly, that with a degree, because it's just that bad. that.
Are you kidding me? I've heard Charles Jackson make that exact That's a hog thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Century.
Georgia
Exactly.
Purdom. She said, like, literally, RJ and I wrote about Georgia Purdom co-authoring an article with Bodie Hodge that said, like, there are no Snapdragon dog crosses. Like, she put her.
so bad.
Yeah.
And they
This
keep
is true.
doing
I
it.
want to highlight this comment because this is 100% true from DM, sponsored by Joshua Geist Wing. The reason it's Kent Hovind level is Kent stole his whole shtick from Gish and Morris. That is 100% true. And if you watch that great channel that has all the archives of the Dwayne Gish debates, you watch Dwayne Gish in the 1970s, and you immediately clock that Kent Hovind is doing a bad Dwayne Gish impersonation.
Oh, not just that. Like the ice age, the rapid ice age, where like an asteroid impacts like the poles. Like that's Velikovsky. He's stealing stuff he doesn't even know about. Like, he's
Dwayne Gish
Ken
stole
Hovind
all his,
is the
Dwayne
ultimate
Gish stole
grifter.
his entire shtick from George McCready Price too.
Yeah,
because
Price is
when Tom
the-
Morris and Gish all left the ASA when they started turning away from George McCready Price's idea of deluge geology, right? And so they took the entirety of George McCready Price's idea, his entire like set of models, I guess, and ran with it and popularized it during the creation science movement, which only took off because they made it so that you couldn't like do prayers in schools, right? Like this whole thing is a domino effect that is so deep.
It's
All right.
It's one of those things where it's just like, bruh.
Okay, folks. Actually, let me just do the super chat real fast since I just saw it pop up before we go to question number 20. Oh, wait, we have a couple here. We have from Pogo Sticks for $2. I'll take Uncooked Matthew for 800, Trebek. Yeah, well, you got to do a YouTube Randos one for that. You got to do a YouTube Randos to get Uncooked Matt. And then we've got Roshana. I always forget.
Roshana is what I go with.
Roshana,
And
the
Roshana has confirmed this to me.
Roshana, the facticity. Roshana, the
Sorry.
facticity of Cheese Keller for $4.99. Kent Hovind is very proud of his ability to Gish Gallop. Yes, he does an impressive Gish Gallop.
Though these days he's doing more like a Gish slow walk.
Well, yeah.
He's slowed
Well, in
down.
these days, he's doing it mostly on Rumble because he's gotten banned so many times from YouTube.
This
So
is true.
keep that up.
Oh,
All right. Jordan, question number 20, quote number 20 is yours. Are you ready, my friend?
Is the chat ready? Is the question?
Is chat, are you ready to try to get Jordan some points? Let's do this. Here we go. Here it is. Neutral evolution hopes that some mutations that don't have any influence on survival when they first occur may suddenly kick in with helpful mutations millennia later. We can call that the cross your fingers theory. It's not much different from the proverbial tornado passing through a junkyard and assembling a jet plane by luck. This is a PhD creationist doing a tornado in a junkyard.
I want to say be he, but I'm going to go with Sanford.
It is not Sanford. Dapper, you're up, and the window to steal is open.
I'm going to say Jeanson.
It is not Jeanson.
Oh, well.
Stephen Meyer.
Nope. TD Lane.
I'm gonna go with Jordan's original guess, which is B.
It is Michael B.
I doubted myself.
Michael B. Professional
Did you have reason to
biochemist,
doubt, though, Jordan?
PhD.
You know, this tracks for B, honestly.
Damn you,
Michael-
skepticism.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points for TD Lane, making a comeback in round 4. That is Michael Behe doing a tornado in a junkyard.
That's
folks.
crazy.
You
That's
see, Jordan,
wild.
Crazy.
if this was on Shroud of Turin, you'd be destroying us.
It's true.
But it's not.
That's true.
Um,
That was. I just want to. You know what, Jordan? I'm giving you half credit for that.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'm not
giving you
above
half credit for
taking
that
pity
because you
points.
had it. You were like, yeah. I'm giving you half credit for that.
I it's just like
Dang.
it's one of those things where it's literally just saying nah because like
Oh man.
just plain logic to go make a logical progression of neutral mutations stick around because they do anything. They're neutral, so they get preserved because there's no selection
That
pressure
was-
for or against them. So later, if a mutation occurs that takes advantage of that neutral mutation, and suddenly you have a very beneficial mutation, because that can happen, then you have a very beneficial mutation. It's just a thing that happens. Observably happens. So,
I just want to mirror Andrew over here. How he has fallen. I mean, that one is not old. That was from I did a video on that recently. That was like from last month. He doing a tornado in a junkyard. It is amazing how like just absolute garbage the arguments coming out of the people who are supposed to be the best creationists.
Well, one of the things I'm really realizing today is just how little it makes sense to call someone like in some significant way better than say like just Kent Hovind.
Right,
like,
they're all Kent Hovind,
but like some of them aren't convicted felons.
Yeah,
true.
Right.
They are. I'm certain many of them are morally better than Kent Hovind.
Can I?
Well, that's
I want
true.
to get the panel. I want to get the panel's opinion on this because that's the last question, right, Dan?
Well, we're going to tally up the scores. We're going to tally up the scores in just a second here. But wait a minute. Hang on. We've got a bonus question. Hang on. There's a bonus round. So, do you want to? I got to tell you, I got a whopper coming up here. So, do you want? Why don't you say what you want to say, and then we'll do our bonus question. We shout it out again. Shout it out for 4
That
points.
was a clue. It was Dave from Wendy's because this is a Whopper.
Oh.
Well, okay. My question's a bit heavy, I guess. But I was going to ask the panel what your opinion was because I'm trying to answer this question for myself. At what point is it lying?
They're all lying all the time. They're all. They're all lying all the time. They're all full of shit. Every one of these people with a PhD is lying all the time. I'm so far down that road.
I hate that that's the conclusion that I've increasingly come to is that they're just lying. They know better. Not everything they're lying. Not everything they say that's wrong is they're lying, but a lot of it has to be.
Yeah, for me, it's well, I mean, because you're not inside their brain, it's impossible to say with certainty, I suppose. However, it's kind of like a scale. Like the more competent and intelligent and informed they are, the more likely they are to be lying. Right.
Bingo.
So if they're like Jeanson talking about something within the field he has a PhD from Harvard in, if he is not lying, then he's an idiot. Like there's only those your only
those
two
are the
options.
options.
Pick your poison.
Well,
I have
that's
to
what
concur
I did
with Jordan's answer. RJ likes to say, I don't know if he's still in the chat, the Tortugan response, right? They don't think about things they don't want to think about. But you have to, but at some point, as Jordan said, if you're, learned in these areas, you have to intentionally choose to not look at these things.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's definitely like something case by case, but it's one of those things where obviously if you catch them in a situation where no, you're lying about this or you're grossly incompetent, Occam's razor says probably lying, and I think that's generally the thing is where Occam's razor applies very strongly here is where if the best explanation is you're lying about this, then it's probably true.
So for you guys, at what point are each of you comfortable saying, okay, they're lying?
I just did this recently with Behe, right? I went through that article he wrote, the Potemkin Village thing, in which it had two of the quotes that we used tonight were from that article. The biologists are intimidated by math thing and the tornado in a junkyard thing. And I went through that article line by line. And like there's stuff in there that I refuse to believe that Dr. Michael Behe, professional biochemist at Lehigh University, his whole career, he's actually published legit bio stuff, and he has spent the last 30 some odd years like professionally being an ID guy. I refuse to believe that he has not like heard and understood the fact that Darwinism doesn't refer to evolutionary theory as it exists right now, right? So when he says that, I am 100% comfortable saying this dude is full of shit, right?
So I have a personal standard, which is if a sophomore at in an undergrad degree would know that what you're saying is bullshit, and you have a PhD in that field, you're lying.
There you go.
Yeah, that's about right.
And that's a lot of what they say. It might be the majority of what these PhDs say.
Yep.
The way my personal kind
Jordan,
of
this is going to be the last thing. Then we're going to do the bonus question.
Is if it would be more charitable for me to say you're lying than you're just that stupid, then that's what I say. I'm being as charitable as I can and just saying you're dishonest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically almost word for word what I said in that Behe video. It's like, I refuse to believe this man is this dumb. therefore he's lying. Yeah. We did get a super chat during all that. Meat permits Tad for $2. I did a tornado in a junkyard, then I got arrested. All right.
I love
Thanks,
how
chat.
many of the people here have inside jokes from my channel. It really warms my heart every time I see someone with an inside joke from my channel in a chat anywhere.
All right, folks.
Dapper is the culture.
Remember,
That's true.
so remember the rules for this one, folks. You
Okay.
shout out the answer as soon as you get it. There's just whatever it is. I put it up. I put up the quote. You shout the answer. You ready? Everyone good? Here we go.
Mhm. Yep.
In 2004, a team led by Dr. Mary Schweitzer discovered dinosaur soft tissue, red blood cells, blood vessels, and collagen in the femur of a T-Rex. Say that again. I didn't hear it.
I said, "There's no way. Like this
Purdom.
is all of them."
Not Purdom. Right organization.
Ken Ham.
Ken Ham. It
Dang.
is Ken Ham.
So he
All
was
right.
in here.
That could also have been any creation.
Well, yeah.
This is
I've
true.
talked to
This means that
creationists
officially
on the
I
street.
win, I think.
I've done like street debates with creationists, and they've said this sort of stuff. You know, it's literally all.
Yeah,
It is
literal. I just want to go back for a minute and just appreciate how awful this is. We're talking, and I have to click on this, but I don't want to go. There we go. We're talking the original 2004 paper, literal red blood cells, blood vessels, and collagen, not byproducts,
One
not
of these.
remnants of hemoglobin, literal red blood cells and blood vessels.
Yeah.
Right?
Literally only one of these in an amount so microscopic as to be just like, wow, that's not very much, is it? It's really impressive it's there, but it's not very much.
Well, the most simple dunk on this is that it's like it should be ubiquitous. It should be everywhere. It should be in everything
Yeah.
in equal amounts.
Yeah, it should be in all
But
the
it's
fossils.
not.
Should have it. Yeah.
It's not, and none of them have ever even touched that answer. Right? They're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, if you find any biological material in anything ever that is old, then it's and there's no. At no point has anybody in geology or paleontology been like, man, boy, if we found it and we found biomolecules, that would just destroy evolution, wouldn't it? They just impose that on it as well.
If I may, the killer here is that we have things from like 4,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That you can carbon date. You have bones from 4,000 years ago you can carbon date, and they have collagen in them. And
Yep.
it's a lot more than these supposed
And they
blood
accept that.
fossils.
Like
Yeah.
they'll use that.
Yeah.
They try to weaponize
Yeah.
that in
Or
their
DNA
favor.
in permafrost or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
It's like
And,
so we should
and-
be seeing the exact same amount that's here in this, if it or like rather a comparable amount for its age. But
You
we
would
don't.
think,
Yep.
but where is it?
But-
Also-
and the only thing they have to appeal to is flood conditions, and that's just like okay,
Wonky.
magic.
I so sorry. This is new topic. I just wanted to point.
I
out
just
something.
before you do that, I just want to appreciate Triceratops.
Armitage. Mark
Armitage.
Armitage spotted.
Erica, I'm
Need more
going to give you a
wine.
point for Armitage on that. There you go.
I need more wine, man.
I resent my low position for being the only one willing to take risks. consistently.
All right,
I didn't
folks.
come here to win. I came here to not lose.
There you go. All right, folks. So we have gone through a whole. I also want to say I very purposely did not say Dr. Ken Ham because apparently after the Bill Nye debate they stopped using the honorific because it's an honorary degree or so. Anyway, it's not Dr. Ken Ham. It's regular old Ken Ham. So he doesn't have a doctorate.
I didn't even
and-
know Dad's honorific.
I also
Honorable
didn't.
bullshitter. and-
Anyway, folks, we have reached the end of our. Wait a minute, double bonus round.
Oh, no.
8 points. This is a double bonus. First to get this one gets it, and you all are gonna lose your minds over this one. Chat, I have pulled this one. Blew my effing mind when I read this line. I cannot wait to see y'all's reactions to this. Are we ready for our final? This is 8 points. It's a game changer.
Let's go.
Are everybody ready to go? Here we go.
Do it.
Here it is. With 112 gender options, our culture is in desperate need of a
no.
basic biology lesson.
Oh man.
So this is all of them, right?
Ken Ham.
Not Ken Ham, but keep going.
Bodie Hodge.
Nope.
Um.
Martin Isles?
Nope. You're in the right, but I will say organization, you're correct. You're all in the right
Okay.
org.
Georgia Purdom.
Georgia Purdom, Dapper with 8.
All day. It's always her. It's always
The
her.
rich
Jason.
just getting richer over here.
Dapper's capitalist confirmed.
Dapper is in fact a 19th century capitalist.
One,
He is
two,
building a
three,
railroad
four,
through your
five,
town
six,
right
seven,
now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I
You
just
can
bought
never be
all
like
the oil
Baldwin.
fields.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was
going to demolish your
Dapper. That was a
house.
good poll. Okay, folks. So I am currently.
Oh, this is a There Will Be
tallying up-
Blood, huh?
So
Well-
that was our final one. Yeah, 112. Yeah. Why is it? Hang on, no, wrong thing. It moved. Why is it 112? 112? Like, what is this? Is literally like I have
Like,
heard
so
nonsense
specific
like
numbers.
this on
No,
like.
I just
I know what the answer is.
Go ahead. Oh,
So
It was
the answer is that there was some form on a website, what I believe was a government website. And when you clicked through the gender section, there was a very long list. But a lot of it was things like prefer not to say, there was like man, woman, there was a whole bunch of stuff from like other cultures that have, additional gender roles that people can fill other than the binary that, Western societies had for a long time. And because it was a particularly large number, a lot of the anti-woke crowd latched on to that number. And it was never the case that anyone was saying that's how many genders there are. It's how many were on one drop-down menu on one website, one time.
gotcha.
Yep.
That is the deepest
I've never even heard of that.
lore, Dapper.
and
I
it's
just-
one of those things.
Like I
where
said,
it's
apparently,
just like, bro.
I need like one or two more hobbies.
You need another hobby or three. Yeah. From your
Capitalism.
permits Tad for $2, we have to overthrow capitalism. I just want to put it right here, chat. Somebody put capitalism in their username,
That's-
please.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a good one.
please do.
Yes.
Please do.
That's a good one. That
we-
capitalism is great. That's fantastic.
Dapper. We now need a Dapper Dino model, a new model for
Amazing.
videos and
Okay.
Like
streams
Monopoly
that
Man.
has a full suit on.
I
And
mean, I
like
have
a fancy
I have
golden
a
cane.
monocle. What else do
Yeah.
you want? How much
Oh,
more like a
man.
capitalist could I
Solid
look?
gold.
Okay,
You need
folks.
like a little white mustache. That's what you need.
Oh, okay.
Not
Do we
not
wanna-
a light one, like one of those big,
Like
the
a
big
handlebar
curly ones.
mustache?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'll ask
Do we
my
want
brother.
to hear? Do we
about
want to
that.
hear the scores?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder who the winner is.
Jeez.
I
All right,
want it to
folks.
be
Two
official.
options.
It's good. We got to make it official here. All right, folks. I'm going to go from 5th to 1st. Okay, so we're going to go
Okay.
from 5th to 1st with 3 points. Jackson Wheat.
Oh,
Jackson, you wrote a book on this.
he's writing another one.
I actually the Carter stuff was if we wrote yeah, we did write stuff about it, but the Carter stuff is not my specialty. Jensen's not my specialty.
I know this is biased
Not
towards me.
me.
This is definitely biased towards me.
Where
That's
was all the
fair.
geologists?
It's my game.
Where were all,
Right.
where's
There's
all
no
the geology?
spelling. There's no Okay. In 4th place, mission accomplished. Jordan.
Yes.
With a total of 6 points. Jordan coming in with 6.
Well done.
All
I
right.
cannot tell you how shocked I am.
Hang on, let me help. Tied for 4th place with 6 points is Jordan and Chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Awesome.
In 3rd place with 13 points minus 5 for wrong steals, we have Erica with a total of 8 points.
It's not
Well
being the only. It's not easy being the bravest one in the room, but
It's true. You are by far well. Dapper did steal more, but he got them right.
oh,
That's what happened.
Ouch.
Dapper,
Yeah.
I've been keeping track of the steals.
Wow.
Dapper had
Wow,
the most
Dan.
steals.
we'll
Yeah.
we'll see if I steal any more clips from you.
Have fun with
So
your
long.
10K.
So much for 15,000. That'll never happen now. Oh man! All right. In 2nd place with 12 points and no deductions, TD Lane rocking it.
Well done, TD.
I came in here expecting to get like 4.
Now, you had a couple really good pulls. You had some
I
really
did.
good ones.
I did.
You had some
Turns
really good
out
ones.
Georgia Purdom says a lot of really dumb stuff.
That was great. And for God's sake, cleaning up with 28 points, most of which were steals, with -1 for a failed
Okay,
steal, way
so
back
20.
in round 1. 27 points. The winner is Dapper Dinosaur. Is the winner.
All right.
You know,
Dapper Dinosaur has won.
Well, it's been officially confirmed. I just don't have a life.
no, I
So
think
that's good.
I think what it is that this is literally your job to watch
Yeah.
Creationists
That's
every
true.
day.
I
Which
just
is-
don't stop. I just don't.
Can't
think you
stop,
have a
won't
problem.
stop.
It's like, hey, what did you do? Well, I spent last week. I spent 55 hours either watching or writing scripts or editing videos about young Earth creation.
So
Your
Dapper,
algorithm is
as
just
the winner,
destroyed.
as
Yes.
the winner, I need to ask that as the expert of the room, right? Like, who's the worst one?
Who's the worst creationist,
Oh,
Dapper? Who's the
Jeez,
worst?
that's a great question.
Professional rolling.
Also, let's
professional
just, while you're thinking, let's just ponder this. Dapper won, but at what cost?
That's a good question.
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
That's
He
a fair
um,
question.
Our subscribers
of
now.
course.
All of our subscribers just transfer to him.
The
Plan for
cost
pig
is
splits.
any ability to ever claim to have any life outside of debunking creationism.
It's
Um,
a worthy cause. It's a worthy
Yeah.
cause.
So the thing is, I think it depends on like the subject, right? Like clearly I'm of the opinion that Snelling is the worst on geology because he's like just blatantly dishonest. And I don't even need to ask, like, well, when do we say he's dishonest? Like when he
He just
puts
lied.
people in front of the cracks and rocks that he says isn't there. That's
Can
when
we-
I can say he's lying.
Can we
I hear
just
Mr.
appreciate-
Wilford just coming for the wall,
I
screaming about Snelling right now.
Oh man, can we just appreciate, again, going back to our friend Mr. Wilford here? He did this debate back in 2020 where he did, it was I think it was against Neffy, right? It was against
Nephilim
It
Free,
was.
yeah.
And
It
it was so
was.
he says, by the way, he's going through all this stuff and he says one thing creationists like to do is use blurry pictures with people standing in front of the cracks and say the layer is bent with no fracturing. And then 2 minutes later, Neffy does his introduction and he's like, and here's a picture of a
That's
folded rock
that
layer with no, and it was like
exact
it was the same picture.
Yeah.
Um,
You can pretty much prove fairly to a reasonable level that Snelling is a liar because
yeah.
he wrote he was a contributor. He wrote a standard textbook for geology while in employ of AIG, which contradicts basically everything he has ever said.
Well, so I would say I do think Snelling's a liar because of the picture thing, if nothing else.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
did have a professor once who, in nuclear engineering, who did not think that relativity and quantum mechanics were real. But
That's
it was
impressive.
fascinating. It
Okay.
was fascinating. It was
Mhm.
very interesting.
I had
but-
a history professor who said that smoking doesn't give you cancer or doesn't.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So-
Amazing. So actually, this is a good. So this is. I don't want to go down all the rabbit holes. I don't
okay.
want to go down all the rabbit holes because we could be here literally all night
Can I give
between the
two
six
more
of us.
worsts?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes to worst, like just human being, and I'm sticking to living creationists,
Living
right?
because murder. Yeah,
Right. Right. So nothing's going to top Beckley except someone who murders two people. So whatever, though, he's dead. Kent Hovind is clearly the most immoral of all of them, right? Like no one holds a
Genuinely
candle.
awful person. Yeah.
Right. And then when it comes to worst, actually, I want to go two more. Worst geneticist, I would say, is Jeanson. Because I
It's
think
gotta be
Tompkins is actually mostly an idiot. Because
that's
I've seen
possible.
him.
That is
Look-
possible.
I've seen him add two-digit numbers and get the wrong sum.
He might
And
just
then
not
publish
get
that.
any of this.
You were there for this because it was your question. But when he was on Apologetics 101 and you asked the question as to like it was a gapping versus ungapping kind of question, right? Like how would you?
Oh yeah,
how
I
would
did. Did I?
And he basically was like, I've never considered that. And we were
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah, what?
that's
That's right.
the question. That's the
Or-
whole question. You wrote 10 papers to answer and you
Mhm.
didn't
Yeah.
consider step one? Are you
Yeah,
kidding?
I think Tompkins is legitimately stupid, and I'm not
I
sure
think
how he got his
That's a good
PhD.
point. I remember. I think that might have been on Logos Research Associates because they do with the Q&As. But yeah,
It
he
might have
did
been
the.
logos. Yeah. it might have
Yeah, and you're right. I asked the question. It was like, what about the gap or not the gapping, the weighting? And he was just
It was
like,
the
didn't parse the question. Like he just didn't know what it meant. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, Dapper.
My worst my worst paleontologist has to be Gabriella Haynes for writing an entire paper about Archaeopteryx and its phylogenetic placement and its taxonomy that was so bad that 3 other vertebrate paleontologist creationists collaborated to write a response that got published in the same journal that was harsher than my take on her paper, which is saying something because I wasn't particularly nice. And the only name I remember off the top of my head was Matt McLean, because he's actually like, he is in fact not as much of a liar as the average creationist paleontology person. But like,
low bar.
It's a low bar, but it was a great takedown. It made most of the same points that I made, and also it was almost like secondhand embarrassment at the how harsh it was, even compared to me. And I was like, God damn, this is bad. And so yeah, she's the worst at paleontology as far as I'm concerned.
So I want to Jordan, I apologize. Finish your point, please, sir, and then we'll do around the horn to say good night.
Turn your muted.
We're talking about lying because he wrote a textbook.
Yeah.
My professor believed that these things were false, but he taught them as if they were true because that was what the curriculum was. And so he would give his own opinion if you asked, but he would say, okay, now back to the quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
So him writing a textbook does not necessarily mean he's lying, but I mean, it's not he's a liar. So,
but I take it in the context of Andrew Snelling, and in the context, absolutely, because looking at how his employment was, where he was already an employee of AIG at the time, and he's writing this, and he justifies it as, well, I need money while an employee of AIG, who's probably paying him better than like being a professor would. Let's be real, because science education, research doesn't pay.
Oh, I'm also never going to forgive Gabrielle Hines for making me slog through several paragraphs of Portuguese.
Oh, that's fun.
Well, but Dapper, you're a linguist, so it's fine. First
of all, no, I'm not. Second, I don't know Portuguese.
Okay,
Dapper,
you've
been alive for how many millions of years?
All right, I want to fulfill this comment. Excellent job hurting cats again, Dr. Dan.
There we go.
Yes, we're trying to keep it going here. All right,
Excuse
and
me,
we did get one more. We did get a super chat just then. Meat Permits Tad for $2. Thank you again. Sorry for the capitalist names, but not really. No, that's great. I love it.
It's very fun.
All right,
actually.
so we're gonna say what we have coming up. We're gonna go in reverse order that we did before. So Erica, you're first. We'll go around the other way. TD Lane, I know you don't have a YouTube channel that you do stuff on, so I apologize. I'm just gonna jump right from Jackson to me, if that's okay with you.
Fine.
Sorry.
My only thing is Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, folks.
Happy Pride.
Okay, what do I got going on? I got a couple of videos coming out soon. I got one where I'm talking about a couple of new papers. I got another one where I'm talking about hominoleti, and it's 4.5 hours long. It's a beast. And part of it is because I have so many interviews with people who were reviewers. So I'm excited to talk about that. We're going to talk about some science communication and how it's done well and how it's not done well in areas outside of creationism. So I'm quite excited to get that out. And then I'm also reposting my Bergman debate because the stream is in like 480p on my channel, and I want to get more money from it. So it's just me being like, that's why I'm reposting this. Oh, and also Donnie didn't read all the super chats, and I got a lot of super chats. So I wanted an excuse to be like, here's the rest of the super chats because people paid me, and I want to read the super chats. Nice. So those are the 3 that are coming out, and then there's a ton on the back burner. My Darwin video has been on the back burner for a while. My video on creationism in the second sort of wave of creationism has been on the back burner for a while, and my video on the conspiracy version of creationism is months away, but it will arrive eventually. And I'm doing a video on the Scopes trial at some point.
Oh, 100 years. That's great. Nice. We got the 100 years. That's wonderful. Awesome. Dapper, what are you up to?
All right. So on what's today? The Wednesday? Tomorrow, I have a video coming out, which is on the surface a response to Brian Thomas of ICR, but it's actually secretly a way for me to talk about the fact that one of the biggest problems that creationism has is a complete inability to get away from the philosophy of Neoplatonism. And that if you understand the connections between Neoplatonic thought and young Earth creationism, young Earth creationists will make a lot more sense. They won't be more right, but you'll understand more where they're coming from, because a lot of where they're coming from comes down to Plato. So then on Saturday, I'm going to be taking a look at the creationist, well, not the creation, the anti-evolution claims of Billy Carson, who has decided that because he thinks that actually aliens genetically engineered some ape into Homo sapiens, that means that evolution isn't true, which does not follow at all.
That's
like
impressive.
those could both be true. Obviously, one of them isn't, but they could both be true. So yeah, that's going to be on Saturday. We're not going to get through the whole thing, but that's going to be with Dr. Kip Davis, biblical scholar, as well as Vishanti, who is, I think I can safely call her a biblical scholar in training. She is working on getting into school to become a rabbi, and so that would
Nice.
I think
That's
make her
awesome.
count as an in training biblical scholar. So then on Tuesday, I'm starting a new show where I'm going to be covering a French-Canadian young Earth creationist that I don't think most people have heard of. And I'm going to be doing that with Chesh. So that's going to be a new Tuesday show. It's going to be on second Tuesdays of the month, which is this one. His name is like Lawrence Tisdall or something like that.
Oh, I've heard. Yeah, I have heard that name. I know you asked. Yeah, I've heard that name.
So that's going to be on Tuesday. And then that brings me to like a week worth of what's coming up next. So I'll just shut up now.
Always, folks, for some reason you're watching this and you aren't subscribed to Dapper. This man basically runs like an anti-creationist news network, and like you should. It's freaking delightful.
This is true. This is true.
Thank you.
Jordan, what wonderful Shroud content do you have coming up?
You know,
It's a slander, sir.
it is, but it's not slander if it's true, because I'm planning. So
Because
tomorrow,
you know. there's-
if assuming second job, I have two jobs. Assuming second job doesn't come through with some more work, tomorrow I've been getting a lot of the same comments, mostly saying, "How come you haven't claimed that $1 million prize? How come you haven't claimed that $1 million prize? Haven't you?" And so I'm tired of hearing about it. So I'm gonna respond to the most common questions I get on the Shroud of Turin.
There you go.
But that's not all I do. I'm also talking. We haven't scheduled it yet because John, Age of Rocks, is like a world traveler who's always in some exotic location. But when
And
he comes
sends us
back,
pictures of the locations.
One
yeah,
week he's in Austria, the next week he's in Georgia, then
Yeah.
he's in
John,
like, Switzerland.
John, we love you, but we've all seen
Oh my
enough
goodness.
alpine lakes, okay?
I'm so jealous. Oh,
whenever John returns back to deal with us mortals, recently he had a chat with Rebecca, Bread of Life, about radiometric dating. She was talking to me, and I was like, you know who's be really good to talk to, and I put her in touch with John. And John gave a really great dissertation to her via email about all of the ways in which radiometric dating methods correlate and support each other. And she basically was like, bullshit. But so that doesn't get lost in just an email between
Can't
Rebecca
stand
and John.
her. Cannot stand her. Dapper and I talked to her.
I'm chatting with her in a few weeks. We're doing her in July. We're doing a thing.
I like her
nested
personally. I
there.
like her as a person a lot. It can be frustrating to talk to her like in the creationist thing, but I like her as a person. Regardless,
I will say, can I just say, Rebecca is a net positive in the world.
for sure, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
on
I
net, Rebecca is a positive force in the world, and I freaking appreciate that.
But in any case, John is going to be coming to talk about that so that we can get some mileage out of that. And long term, I want to do a series on NDEs, just like I did with the Shroud of Turin. But that's going to be
Oh, you're going to become the NDE guy. You're going to.
Yeah.
Maybe and people love their NDEs, Jordan.
Oh, boy.
love
Yes, they
the
do.
NDEs.
yeah, very hot right now. Very demure.
Oh man. Oh man. Jackson, what do you have coming up, sir?
Oh, well, same train I've been on for the last 4 years, chugging along, the Ancestor's Tale.
There we go.
Although, with the Sponge's Tale out as of yesterday, the animals are done. 52 episodes in, and the animals are done. There are 7 episodes remaining, so the next one is the Coenoflagellate's Tale. We're finally leaving the animals. And then it skips down to plants because who cares about fungi or other eukaryotes?
Who cares about all the other opisticons? Screw them.
Yeah, I am honestly surprised there's no fungal tail. That did surprise me. But yeah, so then there's a couple bacterial tails, and then it's onward to the climate change debunking the climate change denial book is the next thing, which is going to be a lot of fun. And Jordan will be coming on my channel in the eventual future because we're having a chat with an archaeologist who I had on previously. Also, Dan will be on my channel tomorrow. We'll be talking with John Perry, and it will be probably a little bit more antagonistic than my talks with John Perry usually are. So
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I say through gritted teeth, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it'll be
Jackson, what are we talking about?
We are going to be talking about the origin of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. So John takes a scientifically unorthodox position.
That's a polite way of saying that he's a conspiracy theorist.
I am trying to be nice. And so Dan will be here representing the mainstream
reality
science view.
I will be representing reality.
And so we'll be having them on. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So what am I doing? Well, tomorrow I'm going to be with Jackson talking about lab leak conspiracy theories and how there's no evidence for it, and it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
and
there's not just no evidence; there's counter evidence.
No, and literally, Dapper, there's a Trojan source. One of the main pieces of evidence that they use for the lab leak conspiracy is extremely strong evidence against it. So
chef's kiss, right there.
Tune in for that.
I've got my fingers crossed that John will hear this and he will be like, I'm changing my mind. I hope
so. Because it's just, all you have to do is compare the sequences to nature, the lab, and the pandemic. And look at, and if you want to say that that's wrong, then you have to invoke a conspiracy theory involving thousands of people and not just in China. So, I mean, okay. So we're going to talk about it. We'll see how that goes. And then in addition to that, I have stuff every Wednesday. I've got a bunch of things cooking. I've got probably 4 or 5 videos that are somewhere between 10% and 70% ready to go. And I will be releasing those as we go. And we're also going to be slowly continuing our way through the Genesis Apologetics Conference. Next up, I don't know when we're going to do it, but it might be next week. Is Randy Galuzza is the next talk we're going to cover in that. So that's going to be awesome.
Have his cavefish regrown eyes yet?
I don't think. I don't think so.
That's disappointing.
I don't think so. Yeah. I'm going to be very disappointed in Dr. Galuzza for forgetting that an 80-year-old experiment disproves everything he says. That's going to be the next Genesis Apologetics video we do, and I can't wait.
Dan? This is relevant to what you're saying because I know you were trying to shut us down, and that's okay.
We're getting there.
Relevant to what you were saying. I was re-listening to this old Carter clip the other day, and Carter at one point in the clip says, there's a group of people who keep very close tabs on what we're doing. And he says it like that. And I'm like, yep, there it is.
Here we are.
They're aware of us.
It is us.
That's the goal.
It is no, the fact that they all know our names makes me so happy.
And they have to talk about it because we're the ones who are talking about them.
The fact that Casey Luskin goes to bed angry at Jackson or angry at me just makes me so happy.
Gunter Beckley, yes, the deplorable ilk. That was Dapper, Erica, Aaron. That was all 4 of us. Yeah.
Professor Dave was in that too. Yeah.
I was really sad. Horsemen of the apocalypse.
I was sad.
Random people.
You know what all of us deplorable ilk have in common, though? We've never murdered anyone by driving into them at full speed on the highway.
You're so right.
Wow.
Good point.
Okay, folks. Oh, I put away my phone. I put away the but pretend I did the air horn. Folks, this has been the second part of my gratuitously long celebration of achieving 10,000 subscribers. And I appreciate all of you indulging me in doing this 2 weeks straight. I hope you all enjoyed the nonsense that we were up to tonight, and you all recognize that the professional creationists are just as bad as the random assholes on YouTube. They are indistinguishable from each other in terms of the arguments they make. So as always, everybody, don't get fooled. Keep on keeping on. Stay healthy, and I will see you all next time. Have a great night.
Bye.